Assalamu everyone. Welcome to the channel. The date is Monday, the 3rd of August, 2026. We are continuing our Accounting the Rulers halaqah. This is our 4th session. We are on page 69, the second paragraph. I will read and the professor will interject with any commentary and we'll see how we get through each other. And hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Just a second.
It is not started the same yet?
Yes, it started. So page 69, we are on the second paragraph, and I'll read the text. And Al-Imam Al-Hakim recorded in Mustadrak, Abu Bakr bin Ishaq related to us, Ubayd bin Abdul Walid related to us, Muhammad bin Abi As-Sari related to us, Al-Walid bin Muslim related to us, from Thawr bin Yazid, from Khalid bin Mad'an, from Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Islam is to worship Allah without associating any partners with him, to establish prayers, give zakah, fast Ramadan, perform Hajj, enjoin the ma'ruf, forbid the munkar, greet your families, and whoever diminishes any of these aspects has abandoned a part of Islam, and whoever abandons all of them has turned his back to Islam. Al-Imam Al-Hakim then stated, this hadith is like the first in respect to its integrity. I say, and that's your commentary, there is no fear in relation to the tadlis of Al-Walid bin Muslim, and the hadith is sahih due to the supporting evidence or testimony of the path of Musnad Ash-Shamiyin. And this narration omitted the statement of a previous narration, which and greeting all the sons of Adam with salam when you meet them. If they respond to your greeting, the angels will respond to them. If they do not respond, the angels will respond to you, but they will curse them or remain silent concerning them. That's the end of the quote. Al-Imam al-Tabarani recording his Mujam al-Kabir and his Mujam al-Awsat with a Hassan Isnad from Abdullah bin Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, Mahmud bin Muhammad al-Marwazi related to us, Hamid bin Adam related to us, Ali bin Asim related to us, Khalid al-Hadha related to us, from Ikramah, from Ibn Abbas. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, Islam is 10 portions or parts, and whoever does not have a portion has failed. Testifying that La ilaha illallah, which is the millah, basis of deen. Second, the salah, which is the fitrah. Third, the zakah, which is the purification. Fourth, the fasting, which is the shield. Fifth, the hajj, which is the sharia. Sixth, the jihad, which is the peak. Seventh, commanding the ma'ruf, which is faithfulness. Eighth, forbidding the munkar, which is the hujjah, proof. Ninth, the jama'ah, which is the union and accord. And 10th, the obedience, which is the protection. He, at-Tabarani, then stated in Al-Awsat, no one related this hadith from Khalid al-Hadha apart from Ali.
The shoemaker. The shoemaker.
Apart from Ali bin Asim, Hamid bin Adam was alone in relating it. I say there exists a disagreement concerning Hamid bin Adam bin Muslim al-Azdi at-Tiliyani al-Marwazi. Ibn Aday said, I do not see anything munkar, i.e. cause of rejection, in his hadith if he related from a thiqa, trustworthy narrator, but that only occurred if he related from a da'if. Ibn Hibban mentioned him among the thiqat and stated he may have erred. Al-Khalili said in Al-Irshad, Hamid bin Adam al-Marwazi is thiqa. The shuyukh of the narrations of Muhammad bin Hamdawi, Abu Rajah, and others related from him, and he heard from Abu Ghanim, Yunus bin Nafi, and others. However, some of them accused him of lying. What we find to be preponderant is that it was an unjust accusation, as we have detailed in the appendix. Concerning the statements mentioned in the hadith that include explanation like his statement about the shahada, that it is the millah, or his statement about obedience, that it is the protection, isma, then there is an element of strangeness in that, and perhaps that was inserted from the speech of Ibn Abbas, or one of the narrators lower than him in the chain of transmission. Al-Imam ibn Ahmad bin Hanbal recording his Musnad with Asanid at the highest level of sihah, authenticity. Yazid bin Harun related to us. Shu'bah informed us from Amr bin Murrah, from Al-Bakhtari, from a man from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, the fear of people should not prevent any one of you to say the truth if he witnesses it or knows it. Shu'bah said, I have related this hadith of Qatada, and he said, what's this? Amr bin Murrah from Abu al-Bakhtari, from a man from Abu Sa'id. Abu Nadra related to me from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the fear of people should not prevent any one of you to say the haqq if he witnessed it or knows it. Abu Sa'id said, this pushed me to write to Muawiyah and to fill his ears, and then I returned. Shu'bah said, 4 people related this hadith to me from Abu Nadra, Qatada, Abu Salama, Al-Jarari, and another man. Jariri, yeah. And another man, Abd bin Humayd, recorded in his Musnad from Shu'bah from Abu Salama, and without mentioning the story related to Muawiyah.
But which means that in the first isnad, it seems to be there's a man, unknown man, but it's not unknown. There's various. Maybe Al-Bakhtari forgot who is this man, but it is either Abu Nadra or so and so and so on. So it's all of them are thiqat, famous, big ones. Anyway.
Okay. Ibn Hibban recorded in his Sahih, Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad, At-Tayalisi in his Musnad, At-Tabrani in his Mujam al-Saghir al-Qada'i in Musnad al-Shihab, and Abu Ya'la in his Musnad, amongst others. Al-Imam Abu Ya'la recorded in his Musnad with Sahih Isnad what Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, said to Muawiyah, Zuhair related to us, Uthman bin Umar related to us, Al-Musta'mir bin Al-Rayyan related to us, from Abu Nadra, from Abu Sa'id, from the Prophet
Al-Mustamir.
Al-Mustamir.
Continuous, Mustamir, not Mustamir, occupier.
He said, the fear of a man or person should not prevent anyone of you from speaking with the haqq if he sees it or knows it. Abu Sa'id said, I met Muawiyah and said to him, there is no person of betrayal except that on the day of judgment he will have a flag of betrayal for his treachery. There is no traitor or betrayer greater than the Amir, leader of the general masses. Interesting. And so actually, just an earlier conversation where you're saying about an exception being made for obedience to rulers and orders of Marcia. Yeah, but I just said this even reinforces it in terms of betrayal of treachery. There's no traitor greater than the Emir.
Yeah.
Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad with the Sahih Isnad, which mentions the fear of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, concerning the responsibility of having knowledge of that. Yahya related to us from At-Taymi, Nadra related to us from Abu Sa'id, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, the fear of the people should not prevent any one of you from speaking with the haqq, truth, if he sees it, witnesses it, or hears it. Abu Sa'id then said, I wish that I had not heard it. And Abu Nadra said, I wish I had not heard it. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal also recorded similar to it in his Musnad. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad with an isnad of the highest level of sihah, mentioning the admission of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, of falling short. Muhammad bin Ja'far related to us, Shu'bah related to us from Qatada, from Abu Nadra, and Hajjaj Shu'bah related to me from Qatada. I had Abu Nadra from Abu Sa'id, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, the fear of people should not prevent any of you from speaking the truth, is he knew it, as he knew it, I'm guessing. He said, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri then said, the trials continued with us until we fell short, and we only conveyed in secret.
The one narration, he says, I wish I didn't hear this hadith because they put me in on the spot and they failed to comply properly. We became so weak that we were doing that in secret, not in public as it should be. I admit that he has fallen short from this. And the same Abu Nadr says, I wish I had he knew this hadith because I am stuck also. So I failed. So they're admitting freely that they failed. They did not do their duty as it should be. So they wish they never heard it. So if you never hear that, you are not obliged to anything. But they hear that, so they're stuck. You see the meaning? I think it's clear from the text. But someone who listening, maybe, what's the meaning? I wish I didn't hear it. What does he mean? I mean, I wish I never hear that hadith from the Messenger of Allah. Because the moment I hear it, I know it's an obligation. And when tested, when faced the trouble, we fail. So he wished for the impossible, that I wouldn't have heard it, but it's done, it's gone, خلاص. So he said the maximum you could do is just do it in secret, in the heart, or something like that. That's essentially for Abu Sa'id and his like, and this rank of people is a failure. Is a failure, no doubt. That's the minimum, absolute minimum. After that, it's only kufr remaining, which is really very painful for people of the rank of Abu Sa'id and Abu Nadra. Not just one of them XYZ or any Tom and Dick and Harry is the same English. No, no. They're very special people around the world. So they feel the pain of being unable to do that. Because the tyranny exercised by Muawiyah and his thugs. That's the reason. But that's history. I'm going to history, but that's how the situation deteriorated.
He said, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri then said, the trials continued until we fell short and we only conveyed in secret. At-Tayalisi also recorded in his Musnad, Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad, Ibn Hibban in his Sahih, and Al-Bayhaqi in his Sunan al-Kubra, amongst others. Out of interest, this tyranny, how do they mask it? If this is at the time of Muawiyah, how do Ahmad bin Hanbal's reported there? How does he
ask him, dig his grave and ask him? That's
it. But what I'm saying, how would they, for example, obviously, if you're narrating something and someone's talking about fitna, what would they attribute it to? Is it Khawarij? Is it something that they provide some kind of?
No, there's a long ijtihad or so on. They go all the ways around.
I see.
This idol, the moment you can accept an idol, you'll find all kind of excuses and imagine. That's it.
So basically, so they mean they're referring to the fitna and stuff.
Yeah. They will find all kind of excuses.
Sophistry. Ibn Majah reported in his Sunan with a Hasan Isnad, which is open to being Sahih, then crying of Abu Sa'id and his admission of falling short. Imran bin Musa related to us, Hamad bin Zayd informed, Ali bin Zayd bin Jad'an related to us from Abu Nadra, from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that the Messenger of Allah stood to give a khutbah, and included among what he said was, nay, the fear of the people should not prevent a man from speaking truth if he knew it. He said, Abu Sa'id then cried and said, by Allah, we did see things that frightened us, implied, but we did not speak up. Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad via another path with wording that included additions. Muhammad bin al-Hasan related to us, Ja'far related to us from al-Mu'alla al-Qurdusi, from al-Hasan, from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, nay, the fear of the people should not prevent any one of you from saying the truth if he saw it or witnessed it. For verily, it does not bring forward the ajal, time of death, nor does it prevent the attainment of rizq, sustenance, to say the truth, or remind with something of magnitude. This is a summarized version of a very long story, which we will present in its full length due to the beneficial lessons that it contains, due to the explicit mention of Al-Hasan hearing from Abu Sa'id, and as a blessed reminder of the righteous servants. Just a second, let me just changes. Okay. And the story as recorded by Al-Imam, let me make sure. And the story as recorded by Imam Abu Ya'la in his Musnad with a Hasan Isnad is as follows. Qatada bin Nusayr related to us, Ja'far bin Sulaiman related to us, Mu'alla bin Ziyad related to us. He said, when Yazid bin al-Muhallab defeated the people of Basra, and Mu'alla said, I feared sitting in the circle of Al-Hasan bin Abi Al-Hasan, whereby I would be found in it and recognized. So I went to Al-Hasan at his home and visited him. I then said, O Abu Sa'id, what is your view concerning this verse from the Kitab of Allah? Which verse? He said, which verse from the Kitab of Allah? He said, the qawl of Allah in this verse. وَتَرَى كَثِيرًا مِّنْهُمْ يُصَارِعُونَ فِي الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَأَقْلِهِمُ السُّحْتَ لَبِئْسَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And you see many of them hastening into sin and aggression and the devouring of what is unlawful. How wretched it is what they have been doing. And that's Surah Al-Ma'idah 62. He said, Abu Sa'id, the people have displayed the sword, and so the sword has impeded the speech. I asked, Oh, Abu Sa'id, and do you know of a virtue for the one who speaks? He said, No. Al-Mu'alla said, I then related two hadith. He said, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri related to us from the Messenger of Allah a hadith. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, the fear of the people should not prevent any of the fear of the people should not the fear
Any
of the
of
people
you?
as the fear of the people should not prevent any of you from saying the truth if he sees it, or to remind of a matter of magnitude, as that does not bring forward the ajal, time of death, or prevent the attainment of rizq. Okay, just 1 second. I just need to make one setting change. Someone might be trying to mess around with the settings. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the fear of people should not prevent any one of you from saying the truth if he sees it, or to remind of a matter of magnitude, as that does not bring forward the ajal, time of death, or prevent the attainment of rizq. He said, then Al-Hasan related another hadith. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, the Muslim should not humiliate himself. It was asked, and what is the humiliating of himself? He said, he exposes himself to calamities or trials, then he cannot bear. I said, O Abu Sa'id, what about Yazid ad-Dabbi and his speech concerning the Salah? He said, indeed, he did not leave prison until he had regretted it. Abu Mu'alla said, I rose from the gathering with Al-Hasan and went to Yazid. I said, O Abu Mawdud, while Al-Hasan and I were conversing, he set up your affair somewhat. He said, whatever, O Abu Hasan? I said, just so. He then asked, what did he say? I said, he said, verily, he did not leave prison until he regretted his statement. Yazid responded, I do not regret my words. By Allah, I stood in a position where I risked my own life. Yazid continued. So I went to Al-Hasan and said, O Abu Yazid, we have prevailed over everything. Will we prevail in our prayers? Al-Hasan replied, O Abdullah, you have not done anything. You have exposed yourself to them. Then I went back to him and said the same thing. I then stood up in the masjid on the day of Jummah while Al-Hakam bin Ayyub was delivering the sermon and said, May Allah have mercy on you. The prayer, when I said that, the men surrounded me, whispering among themselves. They seized my beard and cloak, and they pressed the backs of their swords against my stomach. They led me towards the enclosure. I did not reach it until I thought they would kill me right there. He said, the door of the enclosure was then opened for me. I stood before Al-Hakam, who remained silent. He then said, Are you insane? Were we in the middle of prayer? I replied, May Allah rectify the ruler. Is there any speech better than the book of Allah? He said, No. I continued, May Allah rectify the emir. Imagine if a man were to distribute a mushaf and read it from morning until night. Would that compensate for his prayers? He replied, By Allah, I would consider you insane. He said, and Anas bin Malik was sitting beneath his pulpit, also silent. I said, O Abu Anas, O Abu Hamza, I adjure you by Allah. You served the Messenger of Allah and were his companion. Did I say the ma'ruf or the munkar? Do I speak the truth or by falsehood? He said, by Allah, he did not respond to me with a single word. Al-Hakam bin Ayyub said, O Anas, he said.
And it was terrified. You see how they treat the people. Don't you say something, the guard will be around you and pushing you around in the masjid, in the salah. But
He said,
later in time of Bani Umayyah, Bani Marwan.
He is saying, Labaik, at your service. May Allah rectify you. He said, and the time for prayer has ended. He said, and some of the sun still remain. Al-Hakam ordered, detain him. Yazid then said, I swear to you, O Abu al-Hasan, referred to Al-Mu'alla, what I received in response from my companions was more severe to me than what I said. Some said I was contentious, while others called me insane. Al-Hakam bin Ayyub wrote to Al-Hajjaj saying, a man from Banu Dabbah stood on Friday and said the prayer while I was delivering a sermon. The witnesses present testified that he was insane. Al-Hajjaj responded, if the witnesses testify that he's insane, release him. Otherwise, cut off his hands, legs, gouge out his eyes, and crucify him. The witnesses testified before Al-Hakam that he was insane, and he spared me. Al-Mu'alla Yazid al-Dabbi reported one of our brothers died, and we followed his funeral procession. After burying him, we sat down to remember our Lord and reflect on our own return, i.e. to Allah in death. As we did so, we saw horses approaching. When my companions saw them, they stood up and left me alone. Al-Hakam approached me and asked, "What were you doing?" I replied, "May Allah rectify our ruler. Our companion has passed away," and we prayed for him and buried him. We sat down to remember our Lord and reflect on our own return, i.e. to Allah in death. Al-Hakam asked, "Why didn't you flee like they did?" I replied, "May Allah rectify the ruler. I disapprove of such actions in the open square, and I trust the ruler will not harm me if I stay." Al-Hakam fell silent. Then Abdul Malik bin al-Muhallab, who was present amongst his guards, said, "Do you know who this is?" He asked, "Who is this?" He said, "This is the man who spoke on Friday." Al-Hakam became angry and said, "Indeed, you are bold. Seize him." I was taken and received 400 lashes. I did not know when he would stop due to severity of the beating. Al-Hakam sent me to Wasit, where I remained in custody of Al-Hajjaj until his death. So this is your commentary. I say there is no significance to be found in the critical speech of some concerning Qatan bin Nusayr in this case here, because it was corroborated in a complete manner from Musa bin Ismail Abu Salama at-Tabu Dakhi, who is from the major trustworthy Thaqat and reliable Athbat.
But you see the story, just read the story to see how miserable the situation has become around the turn of the century.
So just average. So basically, this is are these narrators who are discussing the predicament at the time? And
yeah, but it's still read the story again. He went to Al-Hasan, say what to do there. Hasan said, "You should not expose yourself to extreme punishment." The initial narrator, but because so and so on, regretted that. So he went to so and so on. I don't know his name now. He said, "No, Wallah, I did not regret it. I said that wrote in a moment to say was almost sacrificing my life." And he mentioned various stories, one after one. Even the most innocent thing, they sit near the grave, make a dua for the deceased one, and then they attack the horse rider, looking around for anyone who seems to be rebellious. Absolute tyranny, worse than Stalin.
And this thing about he was praying, and if he's insane, is that he was praying while the khutbah was going on? Is that what the objection
is? The Hakam was doing the khutbah because every ruler insists to do the khutbah by himself. And then he told him, "Your khutbah is too long. So we are missing salah." And that was enough to take him. And then he wrote to the Hajjaj what to do with this guy after a long interrogation back and forth. Hajjaj said, his family, produced various men who swore that he's insane, so he can get away without being killed. So Hajjaj wrote back, if there's enough witnesses that he was insane, leave him alone. If not, then cut his hand and then crucify him. You read the hadith, just read it. It's worse than understanding. Not just understanding if you're sitting in a church or a graveyard and doing some rituals. No secret spirits will come and take you. Yeah. So they have people going around checking anyone who looks rebellious somehow. One sign of rebellion is that you sit around the grave and make dua. Read it carefully. Put it in order, suitable for you. Don't worry about the isnad. I deal with the isnad later. Yeah?
Okay. Just a quick one. It also came in full length in
There's nothing that Al-Hasan himself was a failure completely. No. But he was secluding himself in as Ali bin Zayd bin Jud'an for several years secretly, escaping Al-Hajjaj. If the Hajjaj had convinced him, he would have cut that in pieces. But nobody dared coming the house of Ali bin Zayd bin Jud'an because he's the nobility of Quraysh from Al-Jud'an. They have a special noble standing, especially the house of Jud'an, because Jud'an, their grandfather Jud'an, although not a Muslim, he gave protection for Islam to come back in Mecca after the issue of Taif. So he has a special standing, very high standing. And this is from one his descent, Ali bin Zayd bin Jud'an. Besides, he's from the nobility of Quraysh. He was blind. So he has a palace, a big palace, and nobody dare come and or even thought that he would be involved. So nobody checked the house. Otherwise, they would have gotten Hassan and cut him in pieces. Yeah.
And the fact that he's going to legislate to make that, that pronouncement itself is,
But he was
Okay.
advising if you don't think you can withstand, confront the terror and so on, then remain silent at least. Should not expose yourself to much trouble unless you are certain you can go through it. Okay, carry on. We discussed that many times. Is it an excuse to leave Comedy good for the year? If it's so overwhelming, you can't do anything, then just seclude yourself in your house. Don't expose yourself to the problem. That's the only way, at least temporarily to. But it doesn't prevent from doing secret work and things like that. That's not our organization. That's something further. Some other issue there.
It also came in full length in Ta'zeem Qadr as-Salah of Muhammad bin Nasr al-Marwazi with a Sahih Asnad. Abu Bakr Ahmad bin Mansur al-Ramadi related to me. He said Musa bin Ismail related to us. He said Ja'far bin Sulaiman related to us. He said Mu'alla bin Zayad related to us. He said when the fighting of Yazid was taking place, I feared being captured. So I fled. I avoided the circle of Al-Hasan, fearing that he might be apprehended there. So I went to his house and said, "Oh, Abu Sa'id, what about this verse?" He asked, "Which verse?" I said, "The Messenger of Allah said, the statement of Allah, the Most High, وَتَرَى كَثِيرًا مِّنْهُمْ يُصَارِعُونَ فِي الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ." And you see many of them hasting into sin and aggression, Ma'idah 62, until his statement, لبئس ما كانوا يعملون ولا ينحاهم الربا يبديون والأحبار عن قولهم هم الإثم وأكلهم سحت لبئس ما كانوا يصنعون. How wretched is what they have been doing. Why do rabbis and religious scholars not forbid them from saying what is sinful and devouring what is unlawful? How wretched is what they have been practicing. That's Ma'idah 62 to 63. And this is, I said, oh, Abu Sa'id, I said, and the narrator,
Sa'id
Abu
is
Sa'id.
Hassan, his nickname is Abu Sa'id.
I said, oh, Abu Sa'id, may Allah be angry with those who, due to their speech of sin and consumption of unlawful things, and may he condemn the reciters when they do not forbid it. He responded, لَبِئْثَ مَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ. How wretched is what they have been practicing. Al-Hasan then said, O servants of Allah, the people has resorted to the sword, and so the sword has come in the way of the speech. I asked Abu Sa'id, and do you know of a virtue for the one who speaks? Al-Hasan then related to a hadith from the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. May Allah be pleased with him, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, the fear of people should not prevent any one of you from saying the haqq when he sees it or witnesses it. For verily, saying the truth does not draw the ajal nearer and does not prevent the attainment of rizq. And he related another hadith. He said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the believer should not abase or humiliate himself. It was asked, O Messenger of Allah, and what is the humiliation of the self? He said, he exposes himself to calamities or trials that he cannot bear.
So I give again both answers. Yes, it is okay, or should be sacrificed, but you should not expose yourself to situation which you cannot handle. So you should balance between these two. If you know for yourself enough toughness to face the sword, go ahead face. If you don't know, then don't face, otherwise you may collapse and cooperate with them. Reasonable, balanced approach. Because Al-Hasan is a faqih. So he can combine with evidences and put things in proper context, more than the one who's asking him was more a simple-minded, hot-blooded young man or something like that. You see the picture. Is it clear now? Al-Hasan tell him, definitely what you're saying is correct. But on the other hand, said, don't expose yourself to such troubles you cannot tolerate. So balance, see what you can, and go to the limit of your ability. Don't exceed it and put yourself in trouble, which may make you collapse completely, and then or possibly beg them for mercy, and then you join them and so on, the tyrants. If you think you can look at a sword and don't flinch, okay, go. If you think you may flinch, stay home. Keep it in your heart, or work secretly, or whatever, another approach. That's the meaning of the color. What Hassan is saying. He's giving him the two limits, the two side limits. Okay, so you understand the picture now. And the rest is the same detail. And then back and forth, and what has happened to him, of Rabbi, and all these things.
I then said, "Oh, Abu Sa'id, what about Yazid al-Dabbi concerning his position and speech?"
Yeah. And then he mentioned that there was Yazid. Al-Hassan is under impression of someone told him that Yazid al-Dabbi regretted that he took that stand. And that he went to the other. Is it true that that's happened like that? Say, no, I didn't regret it. And I faced the situation and I was able to endure it and manage it. And indeed, he managed it somehow. Still, he suffered quite well. One of them is just having 400 lashes for something trivial. So, yeah, we read that already. So we give the story in full as narrated Muhammad ibn Nasr al-Marwazi. Okay.
Al-Hassan said he did not leave imprisonment until he had regretted for what he said. I then arose from where I was sitting and went to Yazid. I greeted him with salam and said I was with Al-Hassan earlier, and I mentioned to you to him, and Al-Hassan said I said yes. I even praised you to him. Yazid asked, what did he say? I said he said he did not leave prison until he regretted what he said. Yazid said, I do not regret what I said. By Allah, I have stood in position where I put myself in danger, and what I face among my brethren.
And the rest of the story, let the Shabab read it and comprehend it properly. But so Yazid Dabbi said that the impression of the Hassan is not a liar, but his impression is that the man regretted. No, I did not regret. That's not true. I put myself in position which resulted in a dangerous situation, but I was able to handle it. That's it. Yeah.
It's quite a long narration. I mean, I'm not sure if there's...
It's the same. We just read it, but it's another channel. Muhammad exactly the same hadith. You don't know the situation, it's the same one. I'm mentioning various channels.
Okay. Yeah, because
Muhammad Nasr put it in sequence, all of it in one place. Yeah.
Because this one goes to say that what if a man prays the morning prayers and bring the masjid and reads it until the evening?
These are details. We came through that details.
Okay. So if anyone wants to read the rest of it, inshallah, you can go through that. So go to the next one. At-Tabarani recording the Mujam al-Awsat with a Sahih Isnad via a rare path. Amr bin Hazim Abu Jaham al-Damishki said, he said, Sulaiman bin Abdurrahman related to us. He said, Isa bin Yunus related to us from Sulaiman al-Taymi, from Abu Nadra, from Abu Sa'id. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, the fear of the people should not prevent any of you from saying the truth if he sees or hears it. The aforementioned evidences are general in relation to commanding every ma'ruf and forbidding every munkar, in addition to taking every zalim, oppressor, wrongdoer to task. It is impermissible for it to be taken out of its generality and unrestricted or absolute form, or from the obligation to obey, unless that is due to a burhan, clear evidence from the Kitab of Allah or the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah. It is general in relation to anyone who warrants to commanding and forbidding to be directed to them. In terms of individuals, groups, organizations, and states, applying equally to both the rulers and those who are ruled. This is sufficient and clear in relation to establishing the obligation of accounting the rulers and to take the sultan to account, i.e. to command them with the ma'ruf and forbid them from the munkar. The next section is al-inkar, showing disapproval or denouncing the hukam.
Because so the reason we mentioned this hadith in all detail, it's very beneficial in many aspects, but commanding good and forbidding evil addressed to anybody, including the rulers, is an obligation. That there is exception, there's excuses, and so on. That's details, but that's the general principle is absolute. So nobody's commanding good or evil is restricted only to non-rulers. No, you are lying. All hadith of commanding good and forbidding, the majority of them are concerning rulers directly, without any hesitation. Because some say, oh yeah, but commanding good and forbidding evil to the rulers may lead to fitna, may do that, may do that. That's all nonsense. That's straightforward lies. Straightforward lies. It's not only rulers at the top one to be treated this way. Others also, parties, organizations, unions, everyone can be commanded and forbidden. And if he is having any Islam in him, he has to accept that and listen to it. If he doesn't listen, then he turns into a tyrant. He may pull the sword, then the matter become a matter of war and peace. Okay, that's the principle. That the one who someone who doesn't cannot tolerate much punishment remain silent, stay home. Okay, that's an excuse for him, an exception for him, but not exception. There's no exception for the target. Yeah, there's no exception for that. There's exception for commands and forbids. In the case he feels he doesn't have the power and the strength of character. Even Yazid al-Dabbi, when he was arguing with this criminal Hakam ibn Ayyub, what was his name? He was using a very nice language. May Allah reform or correct or something, the rulers. May Allah guide you, using nice language. And still it did not help. So he's taking all possible precautions, but he was not willing to give up on that because he thought he would be able to endure. And indeed, he endured. In the first case where the man was intending to kill him, only his people came forward and in his behalf. He did not ask him to do that. They say, we cannot have to get killed and we cannot go into rebellion and fight for that issue. We're too weak for that. So let's go and say, we don't know, this man is mental. He just ran out of the mental institution and brought witnesses who made under oath out of necessity. And then he wrote to Al-Hajjaj, this has happened, this and this. If you test the witnesses and check it is true, then let him go. Otherwise, cut his hand and leg and crucify him. It is clear. For what? Because he stood there, Salah. You are talking too much. That was enough to think about crucifying him and killing him and being seized by the guards. Yeah. It's clear what has happened. Did you follow the meaning of the hadith? Or there's any problem with understanding? I have the feeling that somehow there's a problem with understanding somehow.
No, I just wanted to know the context. Because, for example, when you have narrators, you don't know who they are, what the context is implicitly. But knowing that these are narrators,
the hadith is tell you, is end with Mu'alla ibn Ziyad and give you the story Mu'alla ibn Ziyad and Mu'alla ibn checked with Yazid al-Dabbi and told you the whole story and gave back and forth between him and the Hasan. It's clear. Because it's not kind of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri and then nothing with himself said, no, this man gives you a complete story. What has happened back and forth, who said what, which excuse they have, and so on. Yeah.
Cool.
What Al-Hasan said, that's all. Just read it carefully, step by step, one by one. Try to imagine you are at that time. Good?
Okay. Cool.
That's it. That's the meaning of it. Muhammad ibn Asmar was the last version, is in one place, or the others one, not all narrator narrated it in full. Some cut something, some did this, some were afraid to do something. Like the one in the other hadith, many didn't mention that he went to Muawiyah and spoke to him harshly. They didn't mention it because they can't give the idol Muawiyah. So they didn't want to mention Muawiyah at all somehow. Yeah. What can you do? Even hadith narrators, some of them are cowards, some of them are traitors. We have to sort that all out one day, bit by bit. But the issue is that it's clear for everyone concerned who can rely upon his narration, is that addressing commanding good and forbidding evil applies mostly to the ruler in first class, not the opposite, that they have any exemption. They have no exemption. Okay? That's it. Okay. That's a zubda in this chapter. There's so many things to be drawn from this. Historical facts, contextual issues, many other things. There's many benefits in this, tons of benefits. Tons of benefits. But that's not our main focus. Because they have been always commanding and forbidding evil, only breaking the glass of khamr, you see, we have someone hands us. But no, that's called fitna, cause bloodshed. No, it is not. That's not the injunction of Messenger of Allah. Okay?
Okay, continue.
Continue.
Section Al-Inqar, showing disapproval or denouncing the Hukam. Indeed, Allah, blessed be his names, foresaw that a faction of his enemies, the hypocritical reciters and scholars of the Sultan, Fuqaha as-Salatin, would spare no effort to serve their masters and dignitaries among the tyrants. They would distort the words from their intended meanings, twist the text and lie about Allah and his messengers, claiming that these texts are specific and only apply to non-rulers. They do so under the pretext of preserving public security, silencing the mob, calming the ignorant, protecting society, preventing bloodshed, and preserving the authority and stature of the ruler. These actions are not only disgraceful, but also deceptive and fallacious. Especially beloved to the hearts of the sycophants of the rulers is the pretext of avoiding al-fitna and averting it. However, ألا في الفتنة سقطوا وإن جهنم لمحيطة بالكافرين. Undoubtedly into fitna they have fallen, and indeed hell will encompass the disbelievers. Surah Tawbah 49. The truth is that those general texts necessarily apply to the rulers. Indeed, if someone said that most of the texts are only related to the rulers, in the case where their original pronouncement and wording were explicitly related to them, but then some of the narrators acted independently by relating them in meaning, i.e. devoid of context, if someone said that, he would have not been far from the truth. Supporting evidence for that is the hadith of Al-Urs bin Umayrah al-Kindi and the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, which we presented in the previous section. The Sahih hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, as recorded by Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad, which explicitly states that Umara, rulers, leaders, and Abu Sa'id, brackets Abu Sa'id, related to us, Abdullah bin Ja'far, meaning Al-Makhrami, related to us. He said Al-Harth bin Fudayl, related to us, from Ja'far bin Abdullah bin Abi al-Hakam, from Abdurrahman bin Miswar bin Makrama, from Abu Rafi. He said, Ibn Mas'ud informed me that the Messenger of Allah said there had never been a prophet except that he had Hawari from his companions and companions following his athar, signs, marks, or steps, and his guidance. Thereafter, there were successors of rulers, Khulafa, Khawa'if Umara, saying what they do not do, and saying what they do not do, and doing what they have not been commanded. And the hadith of Urs bin Umayrah al-Kindi came with the wording that indicated that the intended acts of disobedience were only those acts of disobedience perpetrated by the hukam and wulat, as came recorded in Mushayikha Yaqub bin Sufyan
al-Sufyan. There's a book called Mashayikh. The biggest scholar in the time past, they issue a book called Mashayikhat Fulan, meaning that biography of every important sheikh of his. And in that Mashayikh, he mentions said hadith coming through him and things like that. So it's not just he born this day, died this day, and so on. He gives a little bit of a taste of his narrations. So Mashayikh Sufyan is well known, and it contains quite a number of biographies and so on. And their hadith has come through when he was sheikh. Yeah.
Ubayd bin Ya'ish related to us. He said Abu Bakr bin Ayash related to us, from Mughira bin Ziyad, from Adi bin Adi, from Al-Urs bin Adi. He said the Messenger of Allah said, Wulat, rulers will assume their rule over you after me, who will undertake actions that you disapprove of. So whoever shows disapproval will be safe, but whoever is absent from them but is content with them, then he is like the one who witnessed them. The following also came
and passed without mentioning rulers. But here it is clearly mentioned rulers. I told you that, and the other is not most like someone blades and change the words because he's afraid to make the hadith specifically for rulers. It's actually hadith is originally only for rulers. Yeah.
Okay. The following also came recorded in Tarikh al-Kabir of Abu Bakr Ahmad bin Abi Khaythama, As-Safar al-Thani, Ubayd bin Ya'ish related to us. He said Abu Bakr bin Ayash related to us, from Mughira bin Ziyad, from Adi bin Adi, from Al-Irs, from Adi. He said the Messenger of Allah said, Wulat will assume rule over you, who will undertake acts that you denounce or disapprove of. So whoever denounces or disapproves is safe, and whoever is absent from them is accepting of them, then he is like the one who witnessed them. And also Abu Zakaria Yahya al-Himani related to us. He said Abu Bakr bin Ayash related to us from Mughira bin Ziyad, from Adi, from Al-Irs, from the Prophet ﷺ, the same as it. It also came in at-Tamheed of Ibn Abdar al-Bar, sorry. Abdul Warith bin Sufyan related to us. He said Qasim bin Asbagh related to us. He said Ibn Zuhair related to us. He said Yahya bin Abdul Hamid al-Himani related to us. He said Abu Bakr bin Ayash related to us from Mughira bin Ziyad, from Adi bin Adi, from Al-Irs. He said the Messenger of Allah said, Walat rulers will govern you who undertake acts that you do disapprove of. Whoever denounces or disapproves will be safe, but whoever is absent from them but is accepting of them will be like the one who witnessed them. And Muhammad bin Ubaid bin Ya'ish al-Muhaymili al-Athar al-Qufi is well known. Thiqat, narrator from the shuyukh of the Imams, Muslim and Darimi. His addition must therefore be accepted, and especially as Abu Zakaria Yahya bin Abdul Hamid al-Himani, who was also from among the major Hufaz and authorities corroborated him. In addition, we previously noted that the hadith of Nu'man bin Bashir came in a general manner in the case where he did not talk about the Umara. Despite that, there is a strong possibility that it was originally about the Umara, but the narrators acted with some discretion in the wording due to various reasons and motives. That is because it came recorded in Amthal al-Hadith of Abu al-Sheikh al-Asbahani as follows: Muhammad bin Khalid al-Rasibi related to us, Muhallab bin al-A'la related to us, Shu'aib bin Bayan related to us, Shu'ba related to us. From Simak, he said, I heard Nu'man bin Bashir giving a speech saying, I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, indeed, the example of the Umara and the example of the people is like the example of a people who boarded a ship. Then a man from among them got a place and said, oh, those people, your path and crossing point is by me. I will make a hole and then get water to drink, make wudu, and fulfill my toiletry needs. If they then left him, he would perish, and he would cause them to perish. But if they restrain him, he would be saved, and they would be saved. And it came recorded in Mujam al-Kabir of At-Tabrani, with the same sanad and an abridged matan. Verily, the example of the Umara and the example of the people is like the example of a people who have boarded a ship. Then one of them intended to bore a hole in it. If they restrain him, he will be saved, and they will be saved. But if they leave him, he will perish, and they will perish. And it was recorded in Tartib al-Amali al-Khamsiyah of Ash-Shajari by the path of Abu al-Sheikh al-Asbahani, Abu Ahmad bin Muhammad bin Ali al-Mu'addib informed us as a reading to him. He said, Abu Muhammad Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Ja'far bin Hibban informed us. He said, Muhammad bin Khalid al-Rasibi related to us with the same sanad and matan, just as it came recorded in Mujam al-Saghir of At-Tabarani, with the same sanad as came in his Al-Kabir, although the textual content is complete and not abridged. And At-Tabarani stated, no one related it from Shu'ba apart from Shu'aib bin as-Safar, and Muhallab bin al-A'la was alone in relating it. However, we have previously clarified that this isnad does not stand up by itself, even if it is suitable to be given regard among the corroborations and supporting evidence. Moreover, all these arguments based on falsehood, futile debate, baseless disputing, the misinterpretation of the text, the selective omission of parts of the text or concealing some of them yields no benefits or holds no value. The matter has already been dealt with within the sphere of the sacred divine knowledge. That is as Allah has already inspired his prophet, who is supported by divine revelation and protected by Allah's protection from errors and mistakes, with further clarification which serves as definite evidential proof. The clarity of this evidence extends definitely and certainly to the rulers and sultan. As such, there no longer remains room for examination or deduction, just as no avenue remains for interpretation or distortion. The matter is only one of kufr or iman. This is evidence based upon certainty from the explicit texts which specifically relate to the umara and hukam. These include what Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad with an isnad which is of the utmost level of sihah. Yazid related to us, Hisham bin Hassan related to us, from Al-Hasan, from Dabba bin Muhsin, from Abu Salama, from Salama. She said the Messenger of Allah said, there will be umara, you will recognize and you will disapprove. Whoever shows disapproval or denounces is free of sin. Whoever hates is safe. However, whoever approves and follows, i.e., he is not free of sin or safe. They asked, O Messenger of Allah, should we not fight them? He said, no, as long as they pray the five for you. Abu Ya'la recorded in his Musnad, Abu Khaythama related to us, Yazid bin Harun related to us, Hisham related to us, the exact same in terms of sanad and matan. And Sheikh Hussein Salim Asad said it's sahih, it's isnad is sahih. I say this represents the most sahih isnad and the cleanest wording of this hadith. Al-Imam al-Tabarani recorded it in his Musnad, in his Mujam al-Awsat with a sahih isnad. Abdurrahman bin Salam related to us, he said, Junayd Abu Ghassan related to us, he said, Muhammad bin Mu'alla al-Razi related to us from Ash'ath bin Abdul Malik, from Hisham bin Hassan, from Al-Hasan, from Dabba bin Muhsin al-Asadi, from Abu Salama, from the Prophet ﷺ, there will be A'imma appointed over you. You'll recognize them from them good and also denounce from them. So whoever shows his disapproval has absolved himself of sin, and whoever hates it is safe. However, whoever approves and follows it, i.e., will not be absolved or safe. She said, O Messenger of Allah, should we not kill them? He said, no, as long as they established a prayer. And Imam al-Tabarani then stated, none related this hadith from Ash'ath bin Abdul Malik apart from Muhammad bin al-Mu'alla.
There's many other names, but I say this of highest level out of this. I did not notice that no channel says Al-Hasan reporting that he heard it from Dabba. And that's make a question mark there. There may be someone missing there. So it's not the highest level of authenticity because Al-Hasan is very big mudallis. If you use an, you cannot rely on it. But this is in the future edition, inshallah.
It may be that the original wording is therefore no, as long as they established a prayer among you, or no, as long as they pray for you the five, i.e., institute the five prayers for you, or something similar to that. Then after that, the narrators acted by their own discretion, whereby some of them summarized it until it became no, as long as they pray, or no, as long as they pray the prayer. They pray the prayer. It may be that most of this independent discretion originated from Imam al-Hasan al-Basri, may Allah have mercy upon him.
Is obscure. This point is painful. We have missed it time past, but this is secondary. We don't need this hadith here. We can check it, and we're still having tons of other hadith. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Mas'ud, tons. I will organize them in the future by narrator, inshallah. Make it much more clean now and sharper. Okay, carry on.
Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad with a Sahih Isnad. Yahya bin Sa'id related to us from Hisham. He said, Al-Hasan related to us from Dabba bin Muhsin from Salama from the Prophet. He said, there will be umara. You will recognize and disapprove. Whoever shows his disapproval is absolved, and whoever hates is safe. However, the one who likes and follows, i.e., will not be absolved and safe. Then they asked, O Messenger of Allah, shall we not fight against them? He said, no, as long as they pray the Salah. Al-Imam Abu Dawood recorded his Sunan with a Sahih Isnad, Musaddad related to us, and Sulaiman bin Dawood by meaning. They said Hamad bin Zayd related to us from Mu'alla bin Zayad, and Hisham bin Hassan from Al-Hasan
Hassan, مش حسن, Hassan.
Double S, yeah?
Not the double S. Alif, Hassan, مش Hassan.
Oh, I'm sorry, so an extra A.
Yes, they
From
should have
Dabba,
the double A, but some of the version. Sometimes the A with the dash on top of it is not good enough.
okay.
Hassan, زي
From
رحمن,
Dab,
not Rahman, Rahman. Okay, carry on.
From Dabba bin Muhsin from Salama, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, she said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, there will be ai appointed over you. You will recognize from them good and also denounce from them. So whoever denounces or shows his disapproval, Abu Dawud said, Hisham said by his tongue, has absolved himself of sin, and whoever hates by his heart is safe. However, whoever approves and follows, I will not be absolved or safe. It was said, O Messenger of Allah, should we not kill them? Sulaiman bin Dawood said, should we not fight against them? Should be not fight? I don't know. Might be a typo. Should we not fight against them? He said, no, as long as they pray. Al-Bayhaqi recorded it in his Sunan al-Kubra. Al-Imam Abu Dawood recorded in his Sunan with a Sahih Isnad via another path. Ibn Bashar related to us. Mu'adh bin Hisham related to us. He said, my father related to me from Qatada. He said, Al-Hasan related to me from Dabba bin Muhsin al-Anazi from Salama from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, so whoever hates, then he has absolved himself, and whoever shows his disapproval, then he is safe. Qatada said, it means whoever shows his disapproval by his heart, and whoever hates by his heart. And Al-Bayhaqi recorded it in his Sunan al-Kubra via the same path. And Muslim recorded it in his Sahih, and he inserted in the hadith from the speech of Al-Hasan or Qatada, whoever shows his disapproval by his heart and whoever hates by his heart. And Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded it in his Musnad. Except he stated, should we not fight the Fujar, i.e. the wicked ones? At-Tayalisi recorded it in his Musnad, except he stated, should we not fight the Fujara, wicked ones? At-Tabarani also recorded it in his Mujam al-Kabir, amongst others. All of them recorded it with Sahih Asanid, although they also related other wordings, such as, so whoever shows his disapproval is absolved, and whoever shows his disapproval is safe. However, whoever is pleased and follows. The wording, no, as long as they establish among you the Salah is and Allah is most knowledgeable. The original wording of the hadith, due to its conformity to the wording of the hadith of Auf bin Malik, then Al-Imam Al-Hasan al-Basri used its own discretion with it in accordance with the occasion. And the mother of the believers, Salama, may Allah be pleased, may the pleasure and peace of Allah be upon her, was not alone in relating that, even though the definite and certain evidential proof is established by her alone. Rather, the narration also came from other Sahaba besides her. Ibn Hibban recorded in his Sahih with a Sahih Isnad from Abu Huraira, Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Salam informed us, he said, Abdurrahman bin Ibrahim Duhaim related to us, he said, Al-Walid related to us, he said, Al-Awza'i related to us, from Zuhri, from Abu Salama, from Abu Huraira, he said, the Messenger of Allah said, there will be khulafa after me who will act by what they act by and do what they are commanded, and after them there will be khulafa who act by other than what they act and do what they have not been commanded. So whoever denounces or shows disapproval of them will be absolved of sin, and who holds back or keeps away will be safe. However, whoever approves and follows, i.e. will not be absolved or be safe. It also came in a Sahih with a Sahih Isnad as follows: Abdullah bin Muhammad al-Azadi informed us, he said, Ishaq bin Ibrahim related to us, he said, Al-Walid informed us, he said, Al-Awza'i related to me, Al-Zuhri related to me, and Al-Sheikh Shu'aib Al-Arnud said, it's Isnad is Sahih upon the condition of the two Sheikhs, Bukhari Muslim, and it is as he has said. Al-Bayhaqi recorded it in his Sunan al-Kubra, and Abu al-Mughira Abdul Quddus bin al-Hajjaj corroborated Al-Walid bin Mazid as came recorded by Abu Ya'la in his Musnad. And Sheikh Hussein Asad said, it's not Sahih, and it is as he has said.
Did you notice something? Hadith Abu Huraira is identical with Salama, except that about Salah, which make me doubt the hadith of Salama. That is somehow diverted. There's someone who played games besides the Hasan al-Basri, but before that, maybe the Stabba is playing games or the hidden man between the two. Anyway, I have to study that better in the future, inshallah. Okay.
At-Tabarani recorded it in Musnad al-Shamiyin as follows: Ali bin Abdul Aziz related to us, Muhammad bin Ammar al-Musili related to us, Al-Mu'afi bin Imran related to us, and
Mu'afa.
This is Mu'afa, so it's not a
not the one who does Mu'afa, the one who is having Mu'afa.
Okay. So must have mistranslated.
The difference between the Rahim, the one who does mercy, and the Marhum, the one who receives mercy. The Akthar and the Akthar one, with Mu'afa.
Narrated to us, he said, and Talib bin Qurra. Just a second, 1 second. Yeah. I'm just marking this off so I get the right spelling. Talib bin Qurra al-Udhani related to us, Muhammad bin Isa at-Tabba related to us, Al-Harith bin Atiyah related to us, Al-Awza'i related to us, from Ibrahim bin Murrah from Az-Zuhri with it, i.e. the narration. Al-Imam Bukhari said in Tarikh al-Khabir, Ibrahim bin Murrah, Muhammad bin Ajlan related from him. Ahmed said to me, Khayran related to us. He said, Awza'i related to me. He heard from Ibrahim bin Murrah. He said, Az-Zuhri related to me. He said, Abu Salama bin Abdurrahman related to me. He said, Abu Hurairah related to me from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, there will be khulafa after me, acting by what they act by. And Shu'aib bin Ishaq related to from Al-Awza'i. He said, Ibrahim bin Murrah related to us. He said, did not mention Abu Hurairah. And Al-Walid related from Al-Awza'i and did not mention Ibrahim bin Murrah, but mentioned Abu Hurairah. Abu Abdullah said, and the first is the most correct, and Amr bin Abi Salama said from Al-Awza'i, like the hadith of Khayran and Salama, said from him, Fred from Uqayl, from Ibn Shihab, from Abu Salama, Abu Hurairah related to me from the Prophet. The same as the text of the hadith, of the hadith. Now, this is your commentary. I say the correct view is that both paths are preserved in Sahih. Al-Awza'i heard it from his Sheikh Ibrahim bin Murrah with Thiqa from a Zuhri. Then he met Zuhri and heard it from him directly without any intermediary. As for what Al-Imam Abu Bakr bin Abi Shayba recorded in his Musannaf from Ibn Abbas, Yahya bin Abu Bakr related to us, he said, Al-Hayyaj bin Bistam al-Hanzali related to us, he said, Layth bin Abi Sulaym related to us from Tawheed from Ibn Abbas. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, there will be umara, you will recognize or approve, and you will disapprove, i.e. of what they do. So whoever opposes them will be safe, and whoever isolates from them will be safe or close to being safe. But whoever associates with them will perish or be ruined, destroyed. At-Tabarani also recorded in Mujam al-Qabir, and it can be found via him in Tartib al-Amali al-Khamisiyya of Ash-Shajari.
Dictation of Thursday, al-Amal al-Khamisiyya.
Perhaps it is a Hasan hadith grade due to the following supporting Mursal narration, as it came recorded in Jami' of Ma'mar bin Rashid with a Sahih Isnad upon the condition of the two Sheikhs. The Mursal form, Abdul Razak informed us from Ma'mar, from Ibn Tawheed, from his father, that the Prophet ﷺ said, there will be umara appointed over you who abandoned some of what they were commanded with. So whoever opposes them will be saved, and whoever dislikes their actions will be safe, or nearly be safe. But whoever associates closely with them in their actions will perish or be ruined, or nearly perish or be ruined. Similar to it came recorded in the Akhbar al-Sheikh Shuyukh wa Akhlaquhum. I heard Ishaq bin Subay. He said Al-Hasan bin Rabi related to me Ibn al-Mubarak related to us, Ma'mar related to us from Ibn Tawheed from his father. He said the Messenger of Allah said, there are prophets, and after them there were umara who who abandon some of what they have been commanded with. So whoever opposes them is saved. Whoever isolates from them is safe, or close to being safe. But whoever falls into their dunya, then he is from them. As for what came related from Anas bin Malik, as recorded by At-Tabarani in his Musnad Ash-Shamiyin, Ibrahim bin Muhammad bin Irq related to us, Muhammad bin Musafa related to us, Abu Asim as-Safar bin Yunus al-Himsi related to us, from Hisham bin al-Ghaz, from Anas, from the Prophet ﷺ, he said, there will be khulafa who rule you after me, acting by what they act by and doing what they recognize. And doing what you recognize, i.e. to be from Islam. Then after them, khulafa will rule who act by what they don't act by and do what you do not recognize, i.e. to be from Islam. So whoever disassociates from them will be safe, and whoever is with them, then he is not from them. Even if it conforms with and supports what he has gone by, it has nevertheless not been established from Anas bin Malik in a manner that established evidential proof. That is because Abu Asim as-Safar bin Yunus al-Himsi is majhul, unknown. Additionally, in the case of the scholar At-Tabarani, Ibrahim bin Muhammad bin Irq is considered somewhat unknown. As for what At-Tabarani recorded in his Mujam al-Awsat and in his as for At-Tabarani recorded in his Mujam al-Awsat and in his Musnad Ash-Shamiyin from Abdullah bin Umar, Ahmed bin Khulayd related to us. He said Abu Tawbah related to us. He said Maslama bin Ali related to us from Awza'i, and Muhammad bin al-Walid al-Zubaydi from al-Zuhri from Salim, i.e. Salim bin Abdullah bin Umar, from his father. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, indeed there will be Umara rulers over you, acting by what they act by and doing what they are commanded. And there will be after them Umara who act by that which they do not act and do what they have not been commanded. Whoever shows disapproval is safe. However, whoever is content and follows, i.e. will not be safe. At-Tabarani then said, no one related this hadith from al-Awza'i, from al-Zuhri, from Salim, apart from Maslama, whilst Mu'afa bin Imran and others related from Awza'i, from Ibrahim bin Murrah, from al-Zuhri, from Abu Salama. This is you now. I say the most likely view is that this is false or invalid, and that it is not a form to be from Abdullah bin Umar. However, Maslama bin Ali, who is da'if and disregarded, confused the matter between Abu Salama and Salim due to the resemblance in the two names. Then his imagination ran wild and attributed it to Abdullah bin Umar. And the two hadith of Salama and Abu Hurairah have many supporting evidences, which include the well-known hadith of Ka'b bin Ujrah, as was recorded by Imam al-Tirmidhi in his Sunan, with a Sahih Isnad. Harun bin Ishaq al-Hamdani related to us. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab related to me, from Mis'ar, from Abu Hussein, from Ash-Sha'bi, from Asim al-Adawi, from Ka'b bin Ujrah. He said the Messenger of Allah came out to us while we numbered 9 people, one group of 5 and another of 4. One of them consisted of Arabs and the other of non-Arabs. He said, listen, have you heard? After me there will be Umara. Whoever enters upon them and believes their lies and supports them in their dhulm is not from me, nor am I from him. And he will not be granted access to the Hawd, the pool in paradise. But whoever does not enter upon them, does not support them in their dhulm, and does not believe their lies, he is from me, and I am from him, and he will be granted access to the Hawd. Abu Isa at-Tirmidhi said, this hadith is Sahih Gharib. We are not aware from the hadith of Misar, except from this direction. Harun said, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab related to me, from Sufyan, from Abu Hussein, from Ash-Sha'bi, from Asim al-Adawi, from Ka'b bin Ujrah, from the Prophet ﷺ, the same as the same as it. Harun said that Muhammad related to me from Sufyan, from Zubayd, from Ibrahim, and Nakhi, from Ka'b bin Ujra, from the Prophet ﷺ, the same as the hadith of Mis'ar, and it is in the Bab about Hudayfa. Concerning his statement that it is gharib, then that must mean via this path. Otherwise, it is hard to understand because its paths are numerous and well known, as we have detailed in the appendix. Indeed, it is like the level of Mutawatir from Ka'b bin Ujra. At-Tabarani recorded in his Mujam al-Kabir with a Sahih Gharib Isnad, and the wording all complete. Abdullah bin Ahmad bin Hanbal related to us, Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Numayr related to us, and Al-Hussein bin Ishaq al-Tastari related to us. Abdullah bin Abi Ziyad al-Qatwani related to us. They both said Ubaydullah bin Musa related to us from Ghalib bin Najih, from Ayub bin A'id At-Ta'i, from Qais bin Muslim, from Tariq bin Shihab, from Ka'b bin Ujra. He said, the Messenger of Allah said to me, I seek refuge in Allah for you from the Umara who will come after me. Whoever frequents their doors, believes them in their lies, and assists them in their injustice, then he is not from me, and I am not from him. And whoever frequents their doors or does not frequent them, but did not believe their lies and did not assist them in their injustice, then he is from me and I am from him. And he will have access to Al-Hawd. Awqab, the Salah, is a burhan. Sadaqah extinguishes the sinful acts, just like water extinguishes the fire. And the Sawm is a fortified shield. Junnah. Awqab, the flesh that is nourished by suht, illicit game, does not enter Al-Jannah. Awqab, the flesh does not profit from the suht, except that the fire of hell is most fitting for it. At-Tirmidhi stated this hadith is Hasan Gharib from this direction. We are not aware of it from the hadith of Ubaydullah bin Musa, whilst Ayub bin A'id has been classified as being da'if. It is said he used to relate the opinion of Al-Irja. And I asked Muhammad about this hadith, but he did not know it except from the hadith of Ubaydullah bin Musa, and he found it very strange. And Muhammad said Ibn Numayr related to us from Ubaydullah bin Musa from Ghalib with this. I say, this is your commentary, Ayub bin A'id At-Ta'i is thiqa. We do not have an issue that he used to state the opinion of Al-Irja. And Abu Bishr Ghalib bin Najih al-Qufi was not known by Al-Hafiz to a satisfactory level, and as such he believed that none apart from Ibn Hibban had authenticated him. So he said Maqbul, accepted from the seventh, i.e. the generation of narrators, and at Tirmidhi related to him. And he missed the Tawfiq authentication provided by Yahya bin Ma'in, as came mentioned in Su'alat ibn al-Junayd. I asked Yahya about Ghalib bin Najih. I said Uthman bin Zufar related from him. He said Thiqa. Jarir bin Abdul Hamid related from him. In addition, he related from Hamad bin Abi Sulaiman, Ayub bin A'id at-Ta'i, Abu Sakhrah Jami' bin Shahad, Amr bin Murrah, and Mughira, whilst Abu al-Ahwas, Jarir bin Abdul Hamid, Abu Ahmad al-Zubairi, Ubaydullah bin Musa, Ishaq bin Mansur as-Sululi, and Uthman bin Dhufar related from him. Okay, just a quick one. So we do not have an issue that he used to state the opinion of Al-Irja.
Yeah.
Is this as in because he had Irja in his understanding that people downgraded him or something?
No. Because they count Aqidah in this issue. Aqidah has nothing to do with the issue of Thiqat or rubbish. Just the rubbish. Shia, Jahmiya, all this is rubbish. Just dump rubbish right away. Okay.
So their contention is him having Irja in his understanding, but
irrelevant. Is irrelevant. If he has Irja or Shia, Tashayyu or Qabadi, is irrelevant. This issues of Aqidah, it has been always someone says the other and the other says him. You are mubtadi' and you are mubtadi'. You have to get other issues to be thiqa, to be narrating worthy. Trustworthiness, not lying, and exactness. That's what's needed. Murji, Chinese, but it doesn't matter. It's just nonsense.
This hadith, like this or similar to it, has been related from 7 of the honorable Sahaba. They are Ka'b bin Ujra, which we have just presented and is very sahih, or indeed like the grade of Mutawatir from him. Jabir bin Abdullah, Hudayfa bin al-Yaman, and Khabab ibn al-Arat relate from the 3 of them with Sahih Asanid, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Abdullah bin Umar, and Nu'aym bin Bashir.
Nu'man.
Nu'man bin Bashir, sorry. Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad similar to it with a Sahih Hadith from Jabir bin Abdullah. Abdul Razak related to us. Ma'amar informed us from Abdullah bin Uthman bin Khuthaym from Abdurrahman bin Sabit from Jabir bin Abdullah from the Prophet ﷺ. He said to Ka'b bin Ujra, I seek refuge in Allah from you, from the Imara of the Sufaha. He asked, and what is the Imara of the Sufaha? He said, the Umara who will be after me, who do not comply with my guidance, nor follow my sunnah, then whoever affirms them in their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then they are not from me. I am not from them, and they will not be granted access to my hawd. And whoever does not affirm them in their lies and does not assist them in their dhulm, then they are from me, and I am from them, and they will be granted access to my hawd. O Ka'b bin Ujra. The thawm is a Junda, I guess.
Protection.
Junda. Shield. The sadaqah extinguishes the sinful act, and the salah is an act of gaining closeness to Allah. Or he said, Burhan, O Ka'b bin Ujra, the flesh that is nourished by suh does not enter paradise. The fire is more fitting for it. O Ka'b bin Ujra, people are set off in them mourning. People are set off in their mourning in different directions. Some sell their souls and free them, while others ruin their souls by selling them. And Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad, Abd bin Humayd in his Musnad, Al-Hakim in his Mustadrak, and then stated, this hadith is sahih in isnad, but they, i.e. Bukhari, Muslim, did not record it. And Al-Harith Al-Haythami recorded in his Musnad Al-Zawahid, among others. Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal also recorded it in his Musnad with a sahih isnad from Hudayfa bin al-Yamam. Ismail bin Ulayya related to us from Yunus bin Ubayd, from Humayd bin Hilal, or from other than him, from Rabi'i bin Hirash, from Hudayfa bin al-Yamam, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, there will be umara who lie and deal injustice. So whoever affirms them in their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then he is not from us, and I am not from them. And he will not be granted to the access to the hold. And whoever does not affirm them in their lies and does not assist them in their dhulm, then he is from me, and I am from him, and he will be granted access to the hold. And At-Tabarani recorded in his Mujam al-Awsat as follows. Mu'adh related to us, he said, Hafs bin Umar related to us, he said, Sahal bin Aslam al-A'dawi related to us from Yunus bin Ubayd, from Humayd bin Hilal, from Rabi'i bin Hirash, from Hudayfa bin al-Yaman, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, there will be umara who lie and deal injustice. So whoever affirms them in their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then he is not from me, and whoever does not affirm them in their lies and does not assist them in their dhulm, then he is from me, and I am from him, and he will be granted access to the hold. He then stated, no one related this hadith from Yunus apart from Sahal bin Aslam. I say this is your commentary. Rather, Ibn Ulayya also related it, as was recorded by Ahmad. It is also found in Al-Mutakhab min hadith
Abd
من حديث يونس بن عبيد by Abu Nu'aym al-Asbahani. Muhammad bin Qasim bin Muhammad bin Siyah related to us. Ubayd bin al-Hasan al-Ghazal related to us. Muhammad bin Muawiyah related to us. Ashhal bin Aslam related to us. The same as it, i.e. the hadith.
Mhm.
And Tabarani recorded it in his Mujam al-Kabir via another completely independent path to this. Ali bin Abdul Aziz related to us, Yunus bin Ubaidullah al-Umayri related to us, and Ahmad bin al-Qasim bin Musawwir al-Jawhari related to us, Sa'id bin Sulaiman related to us. They both said Mubarak bin Fadallah related to us from Khalid bin Abi Sat bin Abi Asalt, from Abdul Malik bin Umair, from Rabi'i bin Hirash, from Hudayfa, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, there will be umara over you who lie. So whoever affirms them in their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then he is not from me and I'm not from him. And whoever does not affirm them in their lies and does not assist them in their dhulm, then he is from me and I am from him. And he will be granted access to the hold in the future by Allah's permission. And it also came recorded in the Musnad of Al-Bazzar, Al-Bahr, Al-Zakhar, as followed, and Abda bin Abdullah informed us of it. He said, Amr bin Asim informed us. He said, Mubarak bin Fadallah informed us with its like, i.e. the hadith, and Al-Bazzar stated concerning this hadith, we are not aware of anyone relating it from Abdul Malik bin Umair, from Rib'i, from Hudayfa, apart from Khalid bin Abi Salt. And Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal also recorded in Musnad similar to it in a summarized form from Khabbab bin al-Arat with a Sahih Isnad. Rawh related to us, he said Abu Yunus al-Khusayri, who is Hatim bin Abi Saghira, related to us from Simak bin Harb, from Abdullah bin Khabbab bin al-Arat. He said, my father Khabbab bin al-Arat related to me. He said, I was sitting at the door of the Messenger of Allah sallam, waiting for him to exit for the door of prayer, when he came out to us and said, here. We said, we have heard. He then said, here. We said, we have heard. Then he said, indeed, there will be umara over you. So don't assist them upon their dhulm, and do not affirm them in their lies. For verily, whoever assists them upon their dhulm and affirms them in their lies will never have access to the hold. And Al-Imam Ibn Hibban recorded it in his Sahih, Al-Tabarani in his Mujam al-Kabir, and Al-Hakim in his Mustadrak. He said the hadith is Sahih upon the conditions of Muslim, but they, i.e. Bukhari Muslim, did not record it. And it's supporting evidence in the famous hadith from Ash-Shabi, from Ka'b bin Ujra, with the disagreement upon it in respect to it. Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal also recorded it in his Musnad from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Yahya related to us from Shu'bah, Qatada related to us from Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman, a man from Quraysh, from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, from the Prophet ﷺ. He said there will be umara who will be frequented by ghawash, retinue, or hawash, entourage from the people. They will deal injustice and lie. So whoever enters upon them, affirms their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then he is not from me and I am not from him. And whoever does not enter upon them, affirm their lies and assist them in their dhulm, then he is from me and I am from him. Ibn Hibban recorded in his Sahih, and Abu Ya'la in his Musnad, and At-Tayalisi in his Musnad, amongst others. I say, that's your commentary, concerning the description of Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman as being from Quraysh, as mentioned by Hajjaj, from Shu'bah, makes it the most likely that he is Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman al-Hashimi, their Mawla, the Mawla of Ibn Abbas, who related from Abu Huraira and Abu Sa'id from the third generation, Wusta, middle of the Tabi'een, and from Qatada and Al-Awam bin Hawshab, related from. His mahal situation is one of sidq, honesty, truthfulness, and as such, the isnad is Hasan, whilst the hadith is Sahih alongside its supporting evidence. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal also recorded in his Musnad from Abdullah bin Umar, Aswad bin Amir related to us, Abu Bakr, meaning ibn Ayash informed us from Abu al-A'la bin al-Musayyib, from Ibrahim, from Nafi, from Ibn Umar. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, there will be umara, rulers over you who will command you by that which you do not do. So whoever affirms them with their lies and assists them upon their dhulm, then he is not from me and I am not from him. And he will never have access to the Hawd. And it came recorded in Sharh Mushqil al-Athar with a more complete wording. Fahd related to us, he said Abu Nu'aym and Abu Ghassan related to us. They said Zuhair bin Muawiyah related to us from Al-A'la bin Musayyib, from Ibrahim Qais, from Nafi, from Ibn Umar. He said the Messenger of Allah came out to us whilst we numbered 4 from the Arabs and 5 from the Wali. He then said, have you heard or are you listening? Verily there will be umara after me, so whoever assists them upon their dhulm, affirms them with their lies and frequents their doors, then he is not from me, and I am not from him, and he will come to me at the Hawd, and whoever does not, and he will not come to me at the Hawd, and whoever does not assist them in their dhulm, does not affirm them in their lies, and did not frequent their doors, then he is from me, I am from him, and he will come to me at the Hawd. It's Rijal Asahi, with the exception of Ibrahim, who is most likely Ibrahim bin Ismail, and Abu Ismail al-Qufi, who was given the laqab of Qais. It was said that this was the laqab of his father, and perhaps it was laqab of both of them. He is not well known and has a few hadith. He has been differed upon. Abu Hatim in al-Jarh wa Ta'dil of Ibn Abi Hatim, Da'if hadith, he is weak in hadith. Ibn Hibban mentioned him among thiqat and stated Ibrahim bin Ismail Qais, who has been called Ibrahim Qais, was the Mawla of Bani Hashim. His kunya was Abu Ismail. He related from Nafi and Abu Wa'il al-A'la bin al-Musayyib, and Sulaiman al-Taymi related from him. And al-Bukhari mentioned him in Tarikh al-Kabir of al-Bukhari with commentary by Mahmud Khalil, and he did not mention a jarh by criticism. He presented Hasan narrations of his for the hadith of Hudayfa, a qattat, mischief maker, will not enter Jannah. And he also presented an exquisite story of his, and it was like an accreditation for him because it indicated to the level of his diligence in respect to the chains of transmission and questioning of the major shuyukh. Abda related to me, Abdul Samad related to us. He said Mubarak related to us. Eyewitness Al-Hasan and Ibrahim bin Ismail Al-Qufi said to him, we would love for you to provide us with an isnad. He said, ask. He said, your hadith concerning the final hour. He said, 3 people related to me. Jabir bin Abdullah related to me. Anas bin Malik related to me. Abdullah bin Qudama Al-Anbari related it to me, and he was the person of Sidq from Al-Aswad bin Sari. I did not ask him about anything on that day except that he provided the isnad for it. They then left and said, we have been deceived about this sheikh. For this reason, we seek Allah's direction and say that Ibrahim Qais, may Allah reward him from his good questions to Al-Hasan Al-Basri, is not da'if, but is rather Hasan al-Hadith. Consequently, the hadith is Hasan in itself, لذاته, and the hadith is Sahih due to other than it, لغيره.
We'll check these things further in the future, inshallah. Yeah.
Okay. Supporting evidence.
We'll check that in the future more thoroughly.
Okay.
Jade. Okay, what's the time now?
The time is 9:38.
Is the section finished?
There's still, we're at page 97. There's still more to go. We can take a break here if you want. We can just,
No. We will continue or we end today. That's it. No, break does not make sense.
No break. It's like in terms of
stop here.
Yeah, we can.
I mean this final section.
This section, let me see how far it needs to go.
4 pages. I think it will take longer. Let's go with the 4 pages.
Do you mean continue, yeah?
Continue, yeah.
Okay.
So finish that.
Okay. And Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal recorded in his Musnad from Nu'aym bin Bashir, Muhammad bin Yazid related to us from
Nu'man bin Bashir.
Nu'man bin Bashir, Muhammad bin Yazid related to us from Al-Awam. He said, a man from the Ansar, from the family of Nu'man bin Bashir, related to me from Nu'man bin Bashir. He said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ came out to us whilst we were in the masjid after Salatul Isha. He raised his sight towards the sky and then lowered it until we thought that something had happened in the sky. He then said, indeed, there will be Umara after me. They will lie and act with injustice. So whoever affirms them in their lies and assists them in their dhulm, then he is not from me and I am not from him. And whoever does not affirm them in their lies and does not assist them in their dhulm, then he is from me and I am from him. Indeed, and the blood of the Muslim is its kafara, expiation. Indeed, and subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, and Allahu Akbar are the baqiyat as-salihat, the enduring righteous deeds. There is an obscure transmitter in this chain, but the rest of the transmitters are sahih. It is therefore Hasan li ghayrihi, due to other than it. So when you say li ghayrihi, that means in terms of it's a supporting because of other narrations, yeah? Okay. This then represents a transmission established by way of tawatur. And these many hadith, sahih path for the hadith of Ka'b bin Ka'b, is it Ka'b bin Ujra or Ka'b? Ka'b. Okay, yeah, typo. Bin Ujra, attributed to four of the Sahaba, are supported by narrations that as a whole have no issue with them, attributed to the three others from the Sahaba. When considered together, these narrations obligate conclusive qati and certain yaqini evidence for the fair critic. Another hadith came in this subject related to Ma'rifa as-Sahaba. Shall we stop here? Because this might be slightly different. There will be.
What's the next to that? Is a section?
Yeah, so this is another. It's not another section. No. Okay. So another hadith came in this subject recorded in Ma'rifa as-Sahaba by Abu Na'im.
No, Sahaba, yeah.
Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Ja'far related to us. Mahmud bin Ahmad bin al-Faraj related to us. Hayyan bin Bishr related to us. Hakam bin Salam related to us from Anbash, from Asim bin Abdullah, Ubaidullah from Ubaidullah bin Abdullah, from Abu Salam Sulula al-Aslami. He said, the Messenger of Allah said, there will be ai over you who will have control over your sources of sustenance and speak to you but lie to you, and they will act and do wrong. They will not be pleased with you until you approve of their ugly deeds and believe their lies. Give them their right as long as they are content with it, but if they go beyond that to it, then fight them. Whoever is killed for that, then he is of me, and I am of him. Abu Nu'aym said, and Muhammad bin Humayd related it from Humayd, from Hakam, from Anbash, from Asim bin Ubaidullah bin Ubaidullah, from Ubaidullah. It is also recorded like this by At-Tabarani in his Mujam al-Kabir. Al-Hasan bin al-Abbas al-Razi related to us. Muhammad bin Humayd related to us. Hakam bin Sulaim related to us from Ambasa, from Asim bin Ubaidullah, from Ubaidullah bin Abdullah, from Abu Salam Salula As-Salmi. The Prophet ﷺ said, there will be aimma over you who will have control over your sources of sustenance and speak to you but lie to you. And they will act badly. They will not be pleased with you until you approve of their ugly deeds and believe their lies. So give them their right as long as they are content with it. But if they go beyond that to it, then whoever is killed for that, then he is a shaheed. Al-Hafidh stated in Isabah fi Tawheed al-Sahaba during the biography of Abu Salalah al-Aslami, may Allah be pleased with him, and it has been said, Abu Salam and also As-Salmi, then Ibn As-Sakan presented via the hadith, the path of Abdul Razak bin Sharik from his father, from Asim bin Ubaidullah, from his father. He said, Abu Salama As-Salmi stayed with us and we hosted him for 2 months. He related to us that he heard the Messenger of Allah saying, there will be Umara, rulers over you, your sources of sustenance will be in their hands, and they will prevent you from them until you affirm them in their lies and assist them upon their zulm. So give them their right as long as they accept it from you. If they betray it, however, then fight them. Then whoever is killed for that, then he is a shaheed. And this is your commentary now. I say concerning the statement, Asim bin Ubaid from his father, then that is erroneous. Rather, it should only be Asim bin Ubaidullah bin Asim bin Umar al-Khattab from Ubaidullah bin Abdullah bin Umar al-Khattab. And Asim bin Abu Ubaidullah, despite his weakness, is not completely dismissed or disregarded.
Okay. Have to correct that also. It's not weak. Yeah. Okay.
And At-Tirmidhi has deemed some narrations of his as Hasan. As such, this isnad is susceptible to be considered Hasan, and the hadith is Hasan due to the supporting evidence of the previously quoted mutawatir hadith, in addition to the hadith concerning the opposition by the sword, which will be presented soon by Allah's permission. And it came reported by Abu Asim Amr al-Shaybani in Al-Ahad al-Thani, Yusuf bin Musa related to us, Hakam bin Salam al-Razi related to us, Anbah bin Sa'id al-Asadi related to us, and he presented the same as it is until the statement. So give them their right as long as they are pleased with it, and he did not complete it. At-Tabarani related to it in his Muj'am al-Kabir in this incomplete manner as follows: Abdullah bin Najiyah related to us, Yusuf bin Musa al-Qattan related to us, and it can also be found in Ma'rifat al-Sahaba of Mandah. Abu Amr al-Madini informed us Abu Hatim al-Razi related to us, Yusuf bin Musa related it to us. So this is next. So do you hear of Fuqaha as-Salatin? Oh, this is your commentary now. So I think this is the end of this section. So do you hear Fuqaha as-Salatin, state scholars? Did you hear, O Ibn Uthaymeen? Did you hear, O Mufti of the Saudi family? Did you hear, O Mufti of Egypt? And you, O Sheikh al-Azhar, O Sheikh al-Asghar, the most insignificant sheikh who has fraudulently and falsely been titled Sheikh al-Khabi al-Akbar, the grand sheikh or great sheikh. So this is basically you calling them out, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that ends this section.
We stop here.
Okay, that's page 99. So we start in page 99, the last paragraph.
We need to do it better than that, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah. Okay. All right.
Tamam.
So good. Let me just check. Somebody wanted to make some questions or something. Let me just check.
This 20 years we have gained a lot of more knowledge and scrutiny. But that's good.
Okay, perfect. All right then. Just a heads up. Let me just check the video live stream. Does any got any?
Any question?
A couple of small questions here. Somebody's give me a second. Yeah. Okay, so one is somebody just sent this on Telegram. In your book on Tawheed, you discuss the various meanings of the word deen, and you also addressed the well-known hadith: whoever changes his deen, kill him. However, I have a small observation related to this topic concerning Pharaoh's statement in the following verse. وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنَ. Let me just add this on Telegram. So this font is. I need to find a way to expand this. It's a very, very small font. Give me a second. He's got the reference.
قال فرعون ذروني أقتل موسى وأجد رب.
أقتل موسى
يبدل دينكم ويظهر في الأرض الفساد. What's the question?
Okay. And Pharaoh said, "Let me kill Moses and let him call upon his Lord. Indeed, I fear that he will change your deen or that he will cause corruption in the land." I have a few questions regarding this verse. If there are correspondence in meaning between the Pharaoh's statements, "I fear that he will change your deen," and the hadith, "Whoever changes his deen, kill him," or was Pharaoh using the word deen here with a different meaning?
No, the same meaning, the way of life, because it said of that, أو يظهر في الأرض الفساد, meaning cause corruption means bloodshed and upheaval. That's it. Initiating acts of war, bloodshed. Same meaning. It's not that he's apostatized and he doesn't care about if he has to apostatize. He may change the current order.
So ideology, allegiance, that
No, no, allegiance, etc. Who rules, who doesn't rule. And the qarina is يظهر في الأرض الفساد. إظهار الفساد meaning killing people, raping, pillaging, etc., etc. Acts of war, burning trees, bombing infrastructure like Trump and so on. That's fasad. Because fasad is usually translated as corruption. And people think today corruption is someone stealing from treasury, things like that. That's something else.
I've got somewhat of a not fully formed question.
It's the same meaning. It's the same meaning. Intended by Pharaoh. The Quran translated essentially the same direction.
Okay. The next one is.
And also it's correlated by the ayah. We are afraid that he will destroy our supreme way of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one question. Can you ask regarding the ruling by other than Islam? Does Salaf mention in their books that it has to be ascribed to Allah tafdeel? How do you refute that?
What? Yes,
The Salaf, so regarding ruling other than Islam, the Salaf mentioned in their books that it has to be ascribed to Allah, tafdeel.
I didn't understand the question. What has to do with that? Is there someone else asking this question?
Someone else is asking this question.
Yeah. What is the question meaning? Do you understand it? Tell me if you understand.
I don't know. Well, tafdeel, madkhalis, they look for get out clauses when it comes to ruling.
Fine, but what they mean, what he explains does not make any sense.
Okay, don't worry. I'll just say, look, okay, people who are asking in the YouTube chat, flesh out your questions, or you can come on the Zoom because it's because there's a time lag. I won't be able to accommodate this. Actually, Sheikh, I've got something.
Ascribing it to Allah. What means ascribing to Allah?
And then you legislate, but you just say, "Oh, it's not. We're not saying that this is hukum shari. This is divine, but we're just doing it anyway." Maybe
no, this is kufr anyway, because what Allah has revealed is no, in principle, is in the Quran and Sunnah. And if they forsake ruling it for whatever reason, if they say it's not, we don't know it's from Allah, then we show him it's from Allah. Stop there, not back, then next step, and that's all. This is clear. We discussed that so many times.
Sheikh, I got something to play you actually. This is going to shock you. Give me a second, yeah? So I'm going to give you the context. So somebody sent me this link. So there's a prominent da'i, there's a prominent brother who was in the UK. Now he's in, I think, Qatar. His name's Ustaz Abdul Rahman. He's not yet. I think he follows Uthman Khamis, but anyway, who independent of
even worse for him. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What does he say?
So he says. So this was a debate between somebody from Muhajirun back in the day, and the issue of ruling. So let me just play it.
Good. The second point that comes to a point is that if a country rules and say we're ruling by the book of Allah, and then they change it, this is just the worst it can be is that they're lying. If we find them open banks, letting people drink khamar, they're liars. They're not ruling by the book of Allah. But they never said that the khamar and the riba and everything is the role of Allah. They never said that. One has to pay attention. They're not ascribing it to Allah, but they may be deceiving and lying to the people. That's the worst it could be. And Allah knows better.
So
what does it mean that is ascribed to Allah? Allah is clear about the usury is strictly haram. That's number one. Second, stop taking usury. Otherwise, Allah and His Messenger declare war on you. What does that mean? Meaning they are doing an act of war. They should be killed or crucified, or etc., etc. So what is meaning the riba is not a ruling of Allah? The rule of China, or what's it? What is the meaning of the word? So they're obliged, if they're ruling with that Allah is to prevent usury from being permitted in the land, don't permit giving licenses to usury banking, because such organizations usually require license from the state, so they can open their doors, the people can trust them under state control as an organization. Single man, maybe not. So he can do it in the back doors, but such institutions are permitted in the first place. That's the description, the central bank, this, all the this and this, and you have to comply. to protect the general public and the currency. That's obvious. So they have to be, no license should be given to these countries give licenses to do with haram, which they ordered to prevent. So,
have you come across this before? That just trying to argue in this way that it's just lying.
that's first time. I don't know what I mean they're saying. I don't understand what you mean. They don't say it from Allah. What do you mean? Is it from China or what's it? From where it is? The prohibition of using in the book of Allah and the Hadith Sunnah, Mutawatir, etc. Qat'i. One Qat'i is Islam. Only the Qat'i is Islam. Secondly, not only that is prohibited for everyone to do it, there is an order. فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله. What do you mean حرب من الله ورسوله? يوم القيامة come with a sword, as some people claim? No. Allah ورسوله means the public authority. Allah ورسوله visited the public authority. Declare your war. We'll treat you as a warrior. As Ibn Abbas said, if someone is caught doing usury, yeah, then it's an obligation of the first time to make his Kitab and make sure that he understands what usury, because some usury aspects are very hidden, very difficult. Next time, his neck has to be struck. There's no other claim. Only one time. You can't say, everyone will say, I didn't know that's usury. It looks like this, it looks like that type of trade. No, it is this because of this and this and this. Until he brings evidence that we are wrong in our understanding. If it's established that it's the meaning of the hadith and the ayah, there is no doubt about that then. Okay, this time you'll be punished by confiscating the money and things like that. That's it. Next time, no excuse. His neck must be struck. Simple. So it's addressed to the public authority. فَأَذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. I declare you war, Allah and His Messenger. Allah is going to come down on a horse with a sword? No. Messenger will come out of the grave? No. What does it mean? The public authority is doing to do that. If the public authorities don't do that, then have nothing to do with Allah and His Messenger. They're kafirun. Simple. Straight. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. It's just from Allah, not from Allah, from China, from India. What does it mean? That's the ruling in Quran and Sunnah. And there's agreement between our scholars, the whole ummah, that riba is restricted. It's one of the mubiqat of the major kaba'at. Besides many other hadiths which are the same right, but this is clear. يجتنبوا السبع الموبقات. Various are mentioned, the total may be 14, but every time the people can memorize 7, so he gives 1 times 7, but all of them have conjointly shirk, عقوق الوالدين, they have taking usury, consuming the wealth of an orphan, and then the others then vary from time to time. Sometimes he adds this, sometimes this, but 4 or 6 are almost repeated, and 1 is added every time. If you get the total, it may become 14. But usury is one of them, one standard there, everywhere. أكل الربا وأكل مال اليتيم, consuming the money of the orphan. All of these are destructive sins. Not only major, they reach the level, the clear description of mubiqat is clear. سبع لا ينفع معهن عمل وإن كثر. Whatever you do good deeds, it will be annihilated by these. Essentially like كفر, الشرك بالله, وقتل النفس التي حرم الله, وعقوق الوالدين, وأكل الربا, وأكل مال اليتيم, والتولي يوم الزحف, وقذف المحصنات الغافلات المؤمنات. This is the famous one. But then there's versions which riba is mentioned at 2, 3, 4, and then others addition. You have to summarize all of them. Either search in the books of hadith and so on, Shamila or something, or this phrase, لا ينفع معهن عمل وإن كثر, أو اجتنبوا السبع الموبقات أو الموبقات. And then you will find various. If you put all them together, the total will be 14, something like that. Good? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Simple answer. Why you go to say someone, we ought your answer to them. See, that's the book of Allah is like this, and this is the meaning of this, and this is what Ibn Abbas said about striking the neck of the user the second time, not the first time, because some forms of usury is a bit dark and difficult to understand. He may escape. Oh, I didn't think it's usury. I thought it's a proper trade.
Okay.
So not every question makes sense. Sometimes this question are empty of meaning. Is no difference between this sense he mentioned, then some say what's that? It's just words and sounds. That's something like it is weird or sentence doesn't mean it have any sense.
I mean, these vermin just look for any excuse. It's just shocking.
Don't worry what is the motivation? He's blabber something which doesn't make any sense. It looks like
because what they more common is to use kufr, do not kufr. This was something
that's something else we can discuss. But here it does not make any sense. It's just like blah, 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 blah. But because it's divided in words and things like that, it looks like language of statements. It's not statement. It's just empty talk, empty sounds. But organized as if it is speech. But it's not speech. Kufr duna kufr, something else. So what do you mean with that? So it's an act which Allah called kufr, but it's lesser than the greater kufr. Or lesser than the kufr of the one who disbelieve in Allah. First of all, even the hadith kufr duna kufr, all what Ibn Tawus actually, it's not from Ibn Abbas, not from his father even. He tried to escape the problem of his time. So kufr duna kufr, not like the kufr of whoever disbelieve in Allah, malaikati, 5 major things mentioned in the Quran. The Quran mentioned for the Arkan Iman 5, not 6, because the Qadr Khair wa Shari is part of the Iman Billah. But leave this technicality. So we know what's the kufr, major kufr, the fundamental kufr. He says it's less than that. Okay, but who said this or that? Does that mean the kufr which takes out of the whole of Islam? It still takes. They want to escape that. Is that like a sin? No. It's kufr still. And the ayah is connected with kufr. As-salam. Bye-bye. Besides other considerations which can be brought forward, it's neither from Ibn Abbas nor from Tawus. The establishment of Abbas say it is kufr for him who do that. He does not distinguish which kind of kufr, and there's no need. One
other one for the listeners. Somebody asked a question about the bay'ah of Abu Bakr and the various Sahabi being slightly different. I'll refer you to our channel. Align. There's a video in response to the Munafiq government for Faris al-Hamadi on ruling, where the doc go through the various.
What's the question about the bay'ah of Abu Bakr and Umar and so on?
I can read it, but I mean, you've already answered it anyway.
No, we answered. The issue is that they have various formalities, various technicality. In case of Abu Bakr, it was falta, like Umar said. It was sudden, like a shot. Got in a confusing situation and say it should not be repeated. That's clear. But it was corrected next day in the masjid with the bay'ah al-amma and so on. That's the general point of view, which makes sense according to all narration. Abu Bakr knew that it's falta. They didn't want that to happen, so started wide consultation during his time. And ultimately, the majority fell on the side of Umar. Is either Ali or Umar, but Ali was too young, and people have everywhere. Look at the American Constitution. You cannot stand for election unless you're, I think, 35 years old or so. And interestingly, Ali was not even 32 or something like that. So the general tendency for human beings regarding head state, Sheikh of Qabila, has to be more mature than that. Even Nabi has to be 40 years and things like that. So because of that, the side of Umar prepped with that. And then he told the people, that's the general poll said that. At the time, they didn't have the boxes and voting and technicality like that. That's what we say, thinking correctly about Abu Bakr and Umar and the Sahaba, including Ali. Ali is president. Someone say, no, Abu Bakr believed he has the authority to appoint the one after him. Say, if that's what Abu Bakr believed, then he's the one. Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah. Next. That's it. Simple. So what's the issue there? They would take the authority that you can appoint your son or something. No, there's not the authority for that. But knowing Abu Bakr, knowing the Sahaba and their compliance with Islam as much as they can, generally, means simply that you interpret it this way. If you say, no, I interpret Abu Bakr believe that he can hand it over someone like that, ahd, or transferring imamah to someone else by according to your own will, as if you own it, you tell him the one who understands is dead wrong. Be it as Abu Bakr or be it Hassan bin Ali, handing the imamah to Muawiyah. Stop this nonsense. Say whatever. By either is not an authority. Who is the authority? The Book of Allah and the Sunnah of Allah. Here is the authority, not what you say. Think about what Bakr did. or I think Al-Hassan did. I think Al-Hassan had this idea somehow. He thought he has this power. And he's mistaken if he has thought that. Because he himself was given by choice by the people. And the people refused Ali ibn Abi Talib said, hint, when he said, appoint someone. He said, no, I leave you like the Messenger Allah has left you. Which indirect hint that he doesn't think Al-Hassan is the one who will stand firm. And history has proven him right. Because he was really a problem in his father's life, unfortunately. That's very painful for the Shia to listen to, but that's the reality. There are various narrations about the surrender and the conditions and so on, but none of them give you the impression that he knew really which his rights as a Khalifa. He never understood it properly, unfortunately. Which is good, fortunately, for Islam, because it demolished the theory of Imama and Imama by divine appointment. All of this nonsense. Anyway, it's nonsense on rational grounds and textual grounds. But anybody do that. So this could happen. They make mistake. And we usually assume by best intentions. Except the one who proven to be munafiq or having a disease in the heart. I don't think Al-Hassan is from them, nor Abu Bakr from them. Problem solved. But only if you want to fish in dirty waters. You will find everyone after a prophet have some fault in one way or another. A blatant fault. Some faults are catastrophic. Like Zubair and Talha going to the cursed battle of Kamel. After giving bay'ah to Medina and breaking the bay'ah and going out of the way, claiming they're looking for the blood of Uthman. There's an imam there. Make an application to him the proper way, not coming with an army. Claiming they will look for the killer of Uthman. Who told you to look for the killer of Uthman? Who has the authority? There's a well-established order, the Khalifa Mubayah, he has the power, he has the sword in his hand. Go to him, please, get us these and account them. Besides, in Medina, maybe they're not resident, because they were in Mecca this year, making Hajj, or they went to Mecca somehow in a school situation. But anyway, Ali did complete investigation in Medina. That you don't see it narrated easily, because there was a cover up by many scholars and many sycophants of Muawiyah. But he did complete investigation. He even got Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, who was accused that he entered Uthman and pulled his head or did something there to him. He got hhim and showed him to Na'ila bint al-Farasa, the wife of Uthman. The only one present in the final killing is her. So is this one who killed him? Said no. He came, he pulled his beard, shook him, and left, leaving him alive. And then some people came, I don't know them, and they have been veiled, and they killed Uthman. So he did all the investigation he can. If you go to him, he said, we cannot find them. And the other was sieging Uthman. He settled with them, but there was an obscure letter coming back, and Uthman did not do the proper investigation. And he did not call us to help him with the investigation and meet with the people, discuss with them. And the people are hyper because the obscure letter, I almost 100% sure it is written by Abu Ja'far al-Sulami and Muawiyah, not by Marwan al-Hakam, as many people accused. No, Marwan is too stupid to be relied upon Abu Muawiyah. That's Muawiyah doing. And the moment we know that the one carrying it is Abu Ja'far al-Sulami, his thug, we know that's the story. Who is behind the whole thing? That's Muawiyah. But individually that, the letter say when to the rule of Egypt, he wrote to them later to Egypt, get out of power and hand it to Fulan al-Fulani, Abu Muhammad ibn Abi Hudayfa ibn Utbah. And they see now a letter saying, when the people reach you, strike their neck. Ignore my other letter. I was doing it under duress. It is a very good reason to come back in a hyper state. Every blood is boiling. It should not have been, but that's a human being. So we have to analyze. And Ali did all the investigation in Medina before he went. Even in Medina. Even when the group gathered in Mecca, Zubayr, Talha, and so on, Sa'id ibn al-As, who is nearest in kin to the Uthman, who was killed, more nearer than Muawiyah. Muawiyah is from the other branch of Bani Umayyah. This one said, what you are gathering for? So we go on to call for the blood of Uthman. And then Sa'id ibn al-As said, why are you going far away? The one responsible for his blood who instigated against him are these two. You're telling Marwan ibn al-Hakam against these two. Marwan al-Hakam said, no. We go, fight Ali, and then we kill those later. And Marwan al-Hakam going on with a play. He's playing with the people's feeling and simple-mindedness and good-heartedness. So Sa'id ibn al-As, who was an genuine, the closest essentially in the world at the time to Uthman, except Marwan, who's slightly closer, decided, this is job. And he went to Mecca and stayed there all during the civil war. He saw the plot. And his accusation over Zubair and Talha is well founded because they were instigating against Uthman. Amr ibn al-As, who joined Muawiyah, was instigating against Uthman and running the people against, because he removed him from power just for dunya and power, benefiting from the weakness and the blunders for Uthman. Obviously, there's not a reason to kill these two. This is poor fiqh. Like if anyone ought to be killed, I think is the other source of the evil here. They say, Marwan said, no. We go with them, kill the others, and then in a moment we kill them. And he executed part of it. He's the one killed Talha in Al-Jamal. That's well established. Oh, the many so-called Salafiyah. So I did everything. And still Hassan was not supportive and advising against and so on. Most are instigated by his wife, the daughter of this cursed Al-Ash'ari. But that will come in the book of Muawiyah. Don't worry, leave it. We're not going to find it. So all of them have their shortcomings and certain mistakes. Some mistakes are minor because of poor judgment, something of self-consciousness more than necessary, something you think you're self-confident that nobody will pass over you. But I guess for Abu Bakr, Umar, even Hatta Uthman, in accepting Khilafah, he should not nominate himself in the first place, but even that is not with mischievous intent, or the attempt to betray the Ummah established. And it was the surrender of the Hassan. None. And the most perfect shura really has been done by Ali taking the Khilafah after the death of Oman. They came to his house, refused to accept it, except we go to the masjid and do it public and present to everyone. And then after that, he sent letters everywhere, asking the leaders and everyone to have bay'ah, and even put their thumb or signature or so on hand. And then camel loads of parchment came back with the signatures. So if the only one who did the voting all over the Islamic world, except in Sham, because in Sham, when the people went there to get the bay'ah from the various chieftains and the various people, including women, everyone, the army of Muawiyah stopped it with a sword. We'll get to that on detail. But the people don't know that. And they just follow just haphazard claims.
Okay, one brother just sent me a video just now. So this is the same guy, Ustad Abdurrahman. He's saying about ruling by kufr. Even if you rule by kufr, you're not kafir. Let me just play it, yeah?
And if a person takes a constitution, rules by this, doesn't ascribe it to Allah, doesn't say it's halal for me, doesn't say that it's better than the ruling of Allah, doesn't make it equal to the ruling of Allah, knows that he is sinning and wrong for him to do it, this is my major sin. It's a major sin. Even if he changes the whole constitution of the country.
If he changes the whole constitution of the country.
Even if he changes the whole constitution of the country. All of it. And it rules by a man-made law. This person is a sinner.
So he's saying that even if he changes all the rules, he's just a sinner. As long as he doesn't believe the rule is better than Allah's reveal, it's not. He doesn't deny it.
Where he get this condition? Read the ayah of Hukum. لم يحكم, did not rule, even forsaken the rule of Allah, ruling with nothing else. Leave the people judge between themselves the same they like. I'm not going to interfere in this point. Where he is obliged by the Sharia and evidence, where everything is well established with this certificate evidence, he still does not rule. Like, for example, you could visit and say, oh, the people can do usury between each other. I won't going to involve that. I am not able to, I'm not going to enforce it, or I am not able to enforce it. So he forsakes the ruling of whatever. Let them apply whatever they think, and they carry the same they think. That's not ruling, that's leaving the ruling of Allah, because لم يحكم بما أنزل الله. He did not rule with that Allah did. Because what Allah did about usury is that Allah and Messenger had declared the one bore. So he has to be accounted and prevented by force. That's one specifically. So saying usually. For example, let's take the usury one, which is simple and easy to understand. So he cannot even leave the people, even to say banks, I don't grant them licenses. Maybe they have licensed international one, or maybe they make a technical or management agreement with the central bank. The central bank is concerned about the currency. That's all what they concerned about, and so on. And them just abstaining. Still, this is an act of kufr, and he is, if he knows that the ruling of Allah is to prevent that and administer the punishment, then he is forsaken the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is by this, does not rule. And if he has no excuses in his person, whatever it is, he is then a kafir. If there's an excuse, maybe he's muta'awwil, maybe. All these other conditions. The person, about the person, about the act, the pure act, the pure type. These people are donkeys. They don't differentiate between the pure act. Then how come it came from kufr into fisk only, or sin? It should be, if there's an excuse, maybe there's no sin. Maybe he's forced to permit usury banking because his ports and roads coming in the country are under siege of a world power. It's threatening to destroy the country, and they have the power to do it. So he's thinking of the duress, which is not only not sinful, he's worthy of reward. Protect the country from destruction according to his judgment. That's what we ask him on Qiyamah. So how come that came down? He came down only to sin in the case? No, it doesn't need to be a sin in the first case. We're not talking about sin and not sin, committed himself selling and buying usury. No, we're talking about the system, the ruling. The ruling is different than doing an act. You may be a very clean man that never commit adultery and zina. But if it comes to you in a court, and you are a Muslim for judge in an Islamic court, others say, I'm in a secular court. Then the question will be, why join a secular court? Is that permissible in Islam? That's another issue. But let's assume you in a country claims to be Islamic, and the ruler make an issue. If someone is coming to with the issue of adultery, don't apply the legal punishment, the lashes. Forget about stoning, is abrogate anyway. Like, not apply it. Does it mean that you are adulterer? No, you are not. But you are forsaking the ruling which is supposed to be, if it's become public and witnesses are there, everything is complete as it should be, the punishment has to be administered. It cannot be forsaken or forgiven. If you have no excuse and no is the ruling of Allah, and it comes to your step as a judge, then you are stuck. Either you administer it or you forsake it, and then you have committed an act of kufr. If you have excuse and so on, then you have an excuse. It's not even sinful. This situation is not sinful or extremely sinful. No, situation is either kafir out of Islam or in Islam, because you have a proper excuse, a barring condition for classifying you as a person as a kafir. But the act remains still an act of kufr in itself, as defined. People, I wonder about people.
Okay, I think that should be good.
Leave a judge. As you are a single person, you may abstain from adultery and so on. You are clean yourself, but you say, I don't believe this ruling is obligatory for everyone. خلاص, get card, you are out. And you should have an excuse. For example, why did you say that? Actually, behind you, someone with a machine gun is holding, and you cannot face death. You are not able to become a martyr. Fine. Jurist. Or you ignore that's prohibited for Muslim and non-Muslims. But non-Muslim will not be at this of punishment. They would be treated according to their religion. Like Ali ibn Abi Talib, one young Muslim fornicated with a young Christian, I think, or Jews. And the witness said that everything is established. He said he administered 100 lashes for the young man, the Muslim, and said for the woman, give her to her people, because they have their own structure and their own church. They do a deal here according to their deen. The Islamic prohibition apply to Muslims. If it's for them a sin or according to their system, let them administer. It's good ijtihad. And actually what Ali Abu Talib is essentially, I am convinced, is the ruling of Allah in that case. The lashes are only for those who commit zina, who are Muslims, believing in the ruling of Islam. Others one from another religion, you have to sort out what's happening. That's not like rape. Rape is an act of war, public war. Whoever rapes or being raped or allowed to be raped, whatever it is, that's another treatment, whatever religion is. So highway brigands who rape a woman, the woman is Christian and so on. Still, she can ask for them to be executed for the crime of rape, not for the zina. That's not the issue. For the act of war committed against her, which should not be committed because she is a citizen and she has the protection, the same protection like a Muslim, from being raped or violated against her will. That's another issue together. That's the ruling of Allah. But people do not understand that is their problem. You have to ask the fair scholars like Ali ibn Abi Talib and so on, not the donkey madkhali or semi-donkey, so great fuqaha like Ahmed bin Hanbal and Malik, who do not know the tail of the head of the donkey. With all respect, I don't want to offend anybody. Some of their fatwas are so shameless, you scratch your head. How could this happen to Islam and Muslims? But it happened. Because nobody with the students were opening as I shape, that's kind of glory like this. No. Malik Akbar. He made the ruling, his ruling is final. As even can override the book of Allah.
Burn it all down. Okay, I think that's good. Let's call an end then. Okay. Same as Sunday. Tafsir and same with the next.
But this Abdul Rahman, if he's from the Khabir's group and so on, don't have the strongest love that all his theories are built to protect the rulers and not be in confrontation with them. That's it. So he's actually wants all the people to take him and his teacher and his group and his filthy ideology as Lord beside Allah. تأخذ أخبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم.
I mean, not many of us are familiar because I'll give you examples. Though. I know somebody who studied under him, not particularly studious person, but benefit from him. And the same person said, Uthman Khamis is he's trying to sell it to me that he's not a Madkhali, etc. And he gave this other Uthman Khamis as a name. I'm genuinely not familiar with Uthman Khamis.
The moment he commenting about that Muawiyah was cursing and so on, he said, this is all fabrication of the Shia. طيب. So even nobody of Bani Umayyah, so now he's breaking the Tawatur and Tarikh, was cursing. Everyone in the world that Bani Umayyah were cursing at least. And also Muawiyah, it's well established, but it was so scattered that's very difficult to prove Tawatur. And this Tawatur, for Muawiyah specifically. No doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt. But for Bani Umayyah, this is the necessity of history. There's nothing can be there. Absolutely necessity of history. And blatant act of operation and kufr like what we read today about Al-Hasan al-Basri and al-Dabbi, Yazid al-Dabbi, the Mu'allim Ziyad. Just read it. Just standing say, Sheikh or Amir, Jum'ah time is almost past, and he is seized by the Haras and taken there and almost executed. What do you want more than blatant evident kufr like that? As if you stated, oh, these khulafa must be obeyed and so on. None of these people are that. Some of them clearly out of the fold of Islam. What do you make after when Yazid came after Umar Abdul Aziz, who was pointed by name almost certainly? He came and he felt obliged because he's following in the place of Umar Abdul Aziz. He felt the obligation which cannot escape that you should follow the sunnah of the previous imam. That's a tradition of single man rule based on an ahad and transfer of power given to hand in the previous one. So you feel you have to complete his policy. So he was stuck. So I must comply, I must change my life. Same Umar, not out of conviction, but out of respect of the previous king or Khalifa. And then Bani Umayyah collected him 50, because there's a Qassama in Islam and other religions. 50 oaths is the ultimate. 50 scholars of Sham who came and make under oath by Allah, all of them 50. That the Khalifa, he will not question about his deeds, good or bad, Yawm al-Qiyamah. He's free. The moment he's become Khalifa, he's khalas. He's become unapproachable, unquestionable Yawm al-Qiyamah. Become la yus'al amma yaf'al, khalas, divine. And he then went back to drinking and enjoying himself with his beloved slave girl and so on. Oh, she ended killing her by mistake, because playing, throwing each one in the mouth of the other one. It's a nice love story. Grapes. And he threw a grape the wrong way, and she died. And he entered a long lamentation and so on. So he turned day and night into drinking and enjoying. After this fatwa, do you want more than that? But sure that he really have nothing, because such a fatwa, the one accepts such a fatwa, you wouldn't say he's ignorant. It clearly fits his desire. It's deep inside his heart, he's having a disease. He's a kafir. I would say, Allah, I'm not judging. I have no the keys to the paradise. But I don't think this man was a Muslim. Because such a fatwa is so blatant and clear. Even smelled Islam and so on. It can't be going anywhere. Unless he has smelled nothing at all, heard nothing. Did not hear even Allah shahiding his messenger for being a little bit harsh to the blind man, or shahiding him for listening to his wives, and prohibit himself from enjoying his legitimate relation with his slave girl, and so on. And took him as I take the strong language. I was questioning him. So who are you to be thinking that you cannot be questioned? What's that? But obviously he did not hear even one ayah of the Quran. I wonder if he has the Fatiha even to pray. So he's just Muslim by name, most likely. But the biggest blame, obviously, we don't care this man. He's an absolutely ignorant nil. Assume he's a donkey. But what about 50 so-called scholars? Well, they must be known. They must have halaqah al-masjid and so on. Otherwise, they cannot be presented. Must be some. So if you're in the Sham, which may have at the time several thousand scholars, definitely it's a big country with plenty of scholars, and still the time of Sahaba just expired. These are students of Sahaba and so on. You find enough traitors to be ready to swear. Most likely, they also munafiq kafir deep in their heart. For them, it's a source of income. The dunya is full of ajaib. Don't be surprised. Anyway, enough talking about people, talk about principle, but say it precisely so you can apply, understand it, the content properly, if there's any content, and then apply it to the reality, and then you will be, will be guided, will be knowledgeable. Because say Allah asked Ibn Mas'ud in Hadith, do you know what's the knowledgeable? And that says, do you know who is the most knowledgeable and the people? Say Allah also. I don't know who is the most knowledgeable. Say أعلمهم بالحق إذا اختلف الناس. If the people are disagreeing and confused, the one who knows who is the haqq. That someone has the depth in the understanding. And that can be only issues of Sharia, issues of interhuman relation, issues of governance, issues of rebellion. These are very meaty, dangerous issues, bloodshed and so on, life-threatening issues. Require deep and comprehensive reading of the Quran, not shallow reading like Khawarij and like Wahhabi, and like even the Hanabila and so on, and Maliki and so on. Majority of the Muslim scholars of Islam, they were really nearly, you can't give them the cycle scholar, and the Arabic word will be reader or Qurra, not alim. Alim is something, another category altogether. They were not really alim. Barely anyone of them alim. Barely. The best you say ahbar, scholar, reader, qari. But it became then and becomes so widespread that the people regard it the same like al-ulama. Who are the ulama? Check the Quran was the ulama. Check the hadith was the ulama. And it became a rare currency in Islamic history, unfortunately. We have to increase it. You don't need to have tons of information. But certain important issues you should be comprehensively knowing and having the fundamental structure. Then you are really under fear of Allah when applying it. Then you become alim. You don't need to tons about hadith, until details of salah, and what's said better forward and what. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. So the depth of knowledge in these issues which people can disagree and can endanger the public life and lead to bloodshed and breaking the relation of womb and all these things. These are fundamental things. You have to have a deep grasp of them and synchronize them properly. Then you are real, together with fearing Allah Ta'ala. You gain this knowledge because you are afraid of Allah Ta'ala counting you on Qiyamah. Then you are alim. Otherwise you are not. You are a reader, you are a scholar. I never met him, but there's a mustashriq here in London. The one who died recently, not old age, was his name. I remember his name here in London. I have a relation with him. I was criticizing him and teasing him, and he's teasing me. So, good relation, brother relation. He told me a story about that he was invited somewhere and there was a mustashriq. This guy scanned the books of Hadith and he estimated that still from the million isnads which have been available time of Al-Hakim, for example, nobody can carry all of that. So they slimmed it out. Say what's remaining in the book is a good amount. Give you excellent good invest. He counted between 300 to 400,000. And as a matter of fact, he admitted to Sahibna, and he seems to be telling the truth, that he is memorizing 300 hadith. And this guy does not know his place in the universe. They invited Sahibna, our friend, invited to him in a place, and he drank too much. Say he was peeing on in his place. So he is, despite all this formal knowledge, this data, it never became real information. It's just data, bits of data. Did not get him at least to respect himself that in the gathering he did drink so much so that he can't control his urine. If you concentrate for course, it is going to inevitably happen. So if this man is really in the real knowledge of life or even the simple things of etiquette, he would not put himself in a disgraceful position. But if you count him as a hadith scholar, he will be having tons of data. Maybe he can cite hadith better than me and you. But he's doing it as a technicality. Just for fun, like crossword puzzle. No purpose except enjoyment. Not gaining knowledge and see where you are going, where I have come. Is there any direction or just the death blind nature? What's this for them? Because he never attended. Because he feared that one day he would be facing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he will never become alim. He becomes scholar, yeah. He become habr, rabbi, yes. But the real alim, knowledgeable, knowing where he is in the universe, no. Clearly from his behavior, poor guy.
Okay, inshallah, I think that's good. For the day.
Okay. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. تصبحون على خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.